I sent the link to Tim as well.
Woo! Hello
Mike
and
Mike.
welcome to the Friday Night Social with me and Mike Dix and Mikey Famine. How you doing? I'm the only one here not called Mike. Damn it! But we've got Diz in the chat. We've got Hate and Puds. We got Vendetta. We've got Ivan Ambrose saying hi everyone. We've got Russell Cannon. And if you'd like to join them and therefore us in the chat, all you need to do is just press the subscribe button, and you can join the chat and chat with everybody. So, Mikey, it's been a bit of an eventful week in the States, hasn't it? Have you got a speaker yet? Have you got a speaker? Did you get a speaker?
Yeah, we got a speaker.
You got a mic now and a speaker. Brilliant. That's all you need, really, isn't it?
It only took 2 rounds.
Some decks. You need some decks. Mic, speaker, some decks. You're sorted, mate.
It was kind of disappointing because I was like, oh, let's fire up the old streaming machine because this is the first round of voting. We're going to be here all night, people. It took 15 rounds of voting to get Mike Johnson in there the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
Only 2 this time. So I figured we were going to be here for quite some time. I was like, oh shit, we finna get some viewership today.
Yeah.
We'll have a long stream today.
I feel like we're in one of those science fiction movies where they realize that the baddie, the AI, the alien, they are learning. Like they've learned from their mistake last time. So they didn't let the gavel go down. So what happened was they had the vote and 3 members of the Republican Party said, we're not going to vote for Mike Johnson because he's a gobshite. And basically they needed 2 of them to change their votes to either present, well, one of them to be present and the other one to vote for him, or 2 of them to vote for him, which they did after about an hour of wrangling. And it went through on the first round because they changed their vote afterwards because the gavel hadn't gone down. So
here's something I asked Tim. I was like, they're paid by taxpayer money, right? Why aren't we privy to that conversation? You're at work, bruh.
Yep.
Yeah.
When cops are at work, they wear a body cam or there's cameras in that thing. And as a citizen, I can FOIA that stuff, Freedom of Information Act. I can request that. What did you tell him, Mike? What'd you tell him? I want to know what you said. I want to know what you told
me.
him.
Mike. What did you tell him, Mike?
Mike, tell me what Mike said.
What were you doing in the States this week, anyway?
I offered them nothing.
How'd you get back so fast?
Pork barrels.
He wasn't even in the room.
I just want to know why we can't hear the conversation that they had.
Because it's more fun this way, isn't it? We can imagine. Use our imagination.
If you use sexual favors, fine. If you use gold bars, fine. If you used a weed pen that the guy really likes, fine. I want to know what you said to convince him. Why can't we hear it?
Who were the 3, Mikey? Do we know who it was that was holding out?
Byron Donaldson. Here, I got the article here still. Let me grab it. Byron Donaldson and the guy from Texas, Emmett something.
There's only one person from Texas. Just that guy.
Well, in this context, there is only one guy from Texas. Dickhead. What the fuck? Where is it? Oh, this is the wrong article. Hold on.
He's actually from Louisiana, but he didn't want to be called Louise.
Okay, here it is. It is 3 Republicans initially defected from Johnson. Representative Ralph Norman of South Carolina.
Ralph!
Keith Self of Texas.
Keith!
That's why I can remember. His name's Self. That's why I can remember.
His name's Keith as well.
The next one's Gavin or Gareth.
No, it's Thomas Massey of Kentucky.
Oh, that's a fairly normal name, except Massey, I don't know, of Kentucky.
Well,
he sounds like a proper redneck.
They're not MAGA freaks, are they? They're not well known. They're not like an MTG or a Bobart.
I don't think so, but I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of Republicans in the House. I can keep up with some of them, but I can't keep up with all of them. There is a ton of them.
Not come across those 3, so I wonder what they're holding out for.
I think they just
what did Mike say to convince them?
Please, please.
I think that should be a public conversation.
Pretty please with sugar on top.
So that people can hear what their elected officials are up to.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong that they want to hide all of that stuff.
Why?
Why can't
you want to hide it, Mikey? If you were at work, doing whatever you're doing at work, and then you have a private conversation with a colleague at work, and then suddenly everyone's like, "Oh, but we should be privy to that." Were you privy to
who's
your teachers' conversations in school?
So if you're at work talking to a coworker, who do you
Yeah.
think is the one person that would be able to like actually with any kind of authority walk up to you and ask, what were you guys talking about?
But would you tell them? Would you have to tell them? Would there be?
Yeah, but you gotta answer the thing so that I can finish my second part. So you see, the first part was a primer.
Yeah.
So your boss, right?
Yeah.
Your boss might, hey, what are you guys talking about?
Nah.
And then you can say yes or no. But that person would have the authority to ask.
First Constitution. First Amendment.
Guess
To the Constitution.
No, you have a fifth amendment.
That's the one.
You don't want your first.
That's the badger.
You want to not use
Fifth.
your first.
Take the fifth. Yeah, take the fifth,
Yeah.
Mikey. Okay,
Leave
go
the
on.
fifth.
Next one. I'll take the fifth for a second.
I don't know. I lost it. Damn it, Graham.
Sorry.
I keep trying to
All right,
warn
so
you.
your
It's
boss
only by a thread.
Your boss comes up and asks you what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So your boss would have what's wrong? Would have the authority to ask, who's Mike Johnson's boss?
The
Biden.
Biden.
Is it Biden or is it Kamala?
Wrong answer.
It's not you, Mikey. You've got no power at all.
All of them answer to us.
Do they? Do they though?
Yes.
In reality, in real politics.
I mean, if that was
reality aside, as some of you like to say,
it's very sweet that you
Reality
think this,
aside.
Mikey.
keep
It's
keep fucking around,
Mikey,
keep fucking around.
these are alternative facts.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ivan, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. That's really kind of you. Thank you. I don't think our system in the UK at electing a speaker is ideal at all, but it's more fair than the US system. At least our speakers are required to be non-partisan. Yeah? Well, they're supposed to be anyway.
True.
It's funny how like the most sort of left-wing one we've had in a while was actually a Tory.
Also,
Bear Cow.
in the States, the speaker is more akin to the prime minister, really.
Yeah, because leader of the House, because they get to decide what is to be debated. So that's a
Yeah,
a
they set the
position that
agenda
bloody
for.
Jacob Rees-Mogg used to have. Jacob Rees-Mogg used to get to decide what we talked
What
about
was
in our
voted on.
parliament. That's just
Well, that
mad,
would have
isn't it? That is
Largely Brexit, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was largely Brexit for many years. We didn't get anything else done. It took all the oxygen out. So, what have you been up to this week, Mike? You seen that Mikey's fucked off?
I've been exploring the inside of the NHS.
You've been exploring the inside of the NHS.
I'm doing some investigative journalism.
Yeah, how's it been?
Great. I mean, I've been trying out their various spa-like facilities. So chemotherapy,
Okay.
that's good. They're doing all right with that, and then radiotherapy.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, now I've spent 5 days being shoved in a machine with my trousers around my ankles, being bombarded by X-rays. Basically.
Oh God. So can you feel it? Like, can you feel the radiation? Like, do you
I
get
don't know.
warm?
So you're inside this big round machine for 15 minutes.
Is it like an
You're not allowed to
MRI
wear-
scanner? Is it really noisy?
Yeah, it is a scanner as well. So it both scans and fires intense X-rays at you. So it does a scan to find out exactly where the tumor is it's aiming at.
Yeah.
They tattoo you. You actually end up with 3 little tattoos on my midriff, so that they can line up their lasers every day.
Really? So you've now got a tattoo?
I've got 3 tattoos on my groin.
You got 3? That's pretty cool. Let's go into the NHS. They're giving free tattoos away on the NHS now. Don't tell the
Free
Tories
tattoos.
that. They'll freak
also got
out.
free pair of socks.
Free pair of socks.
A free mat to adjust me on a table, which I have to carry with me.
Did you get any
every day.
backless gowns, or didn't you need them?
Don't do that. We're just largely nude.
Okay. But did you have your pants
From
around your
my
ankles? Because I would have thought
There's
they
so
would
many
have
things.
want them to take.
No, you do have to do that. You do have to do that. And like by day 5, I just don't really care. It's like, they come in and pull your trousers down to the right level and fire away with their guns. But it's kind of, there's some odd things.
Scott's just entered the conversation when you just said that, mate.
Trying to work out what's going on.
He's like, they pull your pants down and fire the guns. What?
They lube you up, put you in a machine, tattoo you.
Sounds like a Friday night to me.
Hey!
Yeah, exactly. It's a great night, Scott. I've been enjoying it. Yeah. No. I mean, the most stupid thing I've discovered this week is somebody with ADHD is that they've set their appointments. I can tell you my appointments next week, right? So Monday it's at 2:12 p.m. Tuesday it's at 9:54 a.m. Wednesday 9:24 a.m. Thursday 6:06 p.m. And so far they've been 25 minutes late every single time.
Well,
why
that's
such specific time?
That's such a weirdly specific time. Why not like just 10 past 2? I mean,
yeah, and they're never on time because
12 past
the machines
2
keep breaking down.
Oh my word!
12 minutes past 2. But
So
yeah,
do you meet
five days a week for 5 weeks?
Do you meet other people at the hospital who are going through
Yeah.
chemotherapy, going through radiotherapy? Do you talk to them?
Yeah.
Do you have what's the conversation like?
absolutely.
Is it a bit weird or
Bums and prostates mainly?
yeah? I can
The
imagine.
ridiculous nature of these appointments, the journey that you have to make to get there.
Yeah.
The fact that everybody says, like, so I'm 5 days into this, and the potential side effects are you could lose your hair, you could develop lesions and internal bleeding, you can nausea, fatigue, diarrhea, like this list of horrible
Bloody
potential
hell, mate.
problems. Plus
Yeah.
the chemotherapy that I'm doing has a very similar set. And I'm like, I'm okay. Actually, 5 days in, I'm pretty much no side effects apart from real tiredness.
Okay.
And I keep sitting there in the waiting room and saying to people, "Oh, I'm okay." 5 days in, and they go, "Oh, I've been doing it 2 weeks. It's fucking awful."
Oh,
And I'm
shit.
like, "Oh, cheer me up, mate. Thanks very much."
No.
No, I'll definitely be turning up on Monday, knowing that for a fact. But
Oh Christ. Well, I mean,
there's a camaraderie in the room, there is, and
Yeah.
there's a real dark humor. If you think our politics social WhatsApp group has got dark humor in it, then you want to go and sit in a radiotherapy ward for a morning, basically.
I could imagine. So you've got another week of this, or what happens now? You just have a rest, or
Got 4 weeks. Yeah, I get weekends off.
you get weekends off, and then every day during the week you're going at a different time. Do you know what it might be?
For another 5 weeks.
It might be that if you do it at the same time every day, then the cancer gets like canny onto it. Do you know what I mean? It's got to take it by surprise because it's got to lull it into the false sense of security because your cancer's like, oh, but I thought that I was going to get zapped at 2:47 p.m.
It's sitting there with a little shield going.
Yeah.
You're not
And he
gonna
goes,
get
oh,
me.
I'm bored of this now. Puts the shield down. And that's it.
That's when it
Bang!
puts its guard down.
8:16 p.m. Yes, that's the time. Perfect.
Yeah.
That does seem a bit,
Probably
well,
right.
I guess they got the system. Is it a long way to the hospital? Is it a ball ache to get in, or is it?
It's fine for me. Some people are traveling for like an hour and a half to get there, which is kind of ridiculous.
Bloody
But I can walk there. It's about a mile away, so I walk there and back.
Are the to move back onto politics in a way? Like, have you spoken to anyone who was undergoing treatment? You've undergone treatment yourself as well under the Tory regime. Have you noticed a difference yet, or is it just the same as it was really?
Yeah, it's worse.
It's worse. Oh, bloody hell!
Well, I mean, the waiting lists are awful, and that's a legacy of the Tories. But it's quite an impersonal service. They are literally trying to rattle through the waiting lists, and it's the first. I mean, I've been treated for leukemia for 12 years. This is a different cancer, so it's a different department. It's the oncology department, not hematology. But it's a pretty impersonal service that they're providing. There's some weird things like the radiography unit that I go to is not in a hospital. It's a Bupa-run clinic, but it's run by Bupa, but solely for the NHS.
Wow,
now, where's the logic?
Someone's making money out of that, aren't they?
Where is the logic in that? That doesn't make any sense that their only customer is the NHS, which means that there must be profit being skimmed out of that system
and given to shareholders in other countries.
Yeah. But they're rattling through it. Maybe I don't think it's a recent decision that was done a few years ago, so it's a Tory decision. Talking to my doctors, the waiting lists are getting worse rather than better at the moment, but they are trying. Yeah, they're throwing themselves at the problem, but. I've got to say, I genuinely think the service is worse right now. And I don't think you can pin that on the Labour Party. I think they're dealing with a backlog problem.
Yeah. Years of underfunding.
Literally with me, that's exactly what we're dealing with, a backlog problem.
So, oh, fucking hell. All right, well, best of luck with everything. And, keep us up to date if you can. With what's happening.
I will.
I mean, there's a chance you might not be able to do this then next week if it's going to be more difficult.
What have you heard? Have you spoke to my doctor?
No, I didn't. You said talking to the other patients. They were like, mate, you just wait for another
what's
week.
my prognosis, Graham?
It's got the results
I fully intend to keep coming on this channel every Friday night for the next 5 weeks and deteriorate slowly into a glowing zombie.
Oh, it would be cool to glow though, like the Veggie Breck kid.
Glowing in the dark would be great. I could turn these lights off.
And then you just sit there glowing, freaking everybody out. Anyway, talking about
so
glowing and freaking people out, it's Scott. Hey, Scott, how you doing, mate? Sorry for... We're in the mid-conversation, mid-flow.
No, listen, you know what? That's not a conversation interrupt. So it's
and before then, we were talking to Mikey over in the States. I don't know why I said that in an Australian accent. About the shit that's been going on in the States. So we've got we talked about the speaker tonight. The
state of Queensland.
the state. We talked about the speaker being chosen tonight, being selected. So that means that they can go ahead with the counting of the votes on January the 6th. There won't be a riot this time.
The Speaker of Congress of the House of Representatives.
Yeah. They elected Mike Johnson.
That. I didn't know. Okay, cool.
By one vote.
They'll just make it him again, won't they?
Yeah, they have done. Yeah, they've had that vote this afternoon, and then tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 6th, on Monday the 6th. That's when they count all the votes and say who
January 6th. It's in the Constitution. We do it the same day every time.
I have a question, Mikey, that you might be able to answer. How come it takes so fucking long for a election to happen in the first place? And then when it does happen, how come it takes so long to put the president in place? Like, it takes 2 months. Everywhere else in the world, like in the UK, we have a general election, and the next morning we have a completely different group of people in Parliament. You don't have them hanging around for 2 months, being a bunch of dickheads, being a lame duck. You know, it's just that we've had the election, you're gone. Why does it take so long?
Look, Graham, not everybody is you, okay? So don't dare insinuate that our process takes too long. Everybody has it.
Mikey, you just said I don't know.
I am mid-joke, damn it. I am mid-joke, and someone's going to let me finish a joke today.
Mikey, what's the punchline? Tell us the joke.
Just because some people like to, rush through their election process, we over here like to make it take as long as possible so that our, telecommunications companies can make the most money possible.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I get that's why your election cycle starts the day that your president gets inaugurated. My question is, what is the gap between the November election, the beginning of November, and the president being inaugurated on January the 20th? Why is it so long?
As Mikey said, though, it's in the Constitution that the votes are counted on the 6th of January. So if it's going back 300 years, there's probably something to do with the fact that 300 years ago. And that just hasn't changed.
That's how long a mule took to ride.
Literally that, to get through
San Diego. To Washington.
Have you seen how slow Biden walks? I mean, it's going to take him a long time to get out of the White House to the helicopter.
I watched a great video today about Joe Biden. You guys should check it out. It's Joe Biden in the crime bill from 1993. Oh, the infamous super predators that got Hillary a big goose egg.
Was that the one about crack cocaine?
That was his bill. No. That was his bill about just locking up everybody, first-time offenders, multiple offenders. Doesn't matter what you did. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you do anything wrong for any reason, just put them in jail and we'll sort it out later.
Brilliant.
No rehabilitation.
That's what you guys do now, isn't it? That's exactly what happens, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes. He's the one that brought it in.
Here in England, if you get arrested, right, they have 24 hours to charge you, right? If they don't charge you, they have to let you go, right? And you can be under a pending investigation, but they have to let you go. That's why we have TV shows like 24 Hours and Under Arrest or whatever it's called. In America, it is not like that. They will keep you in jail for a month.
Yeah.
Like, destroy your life and keep you in jail for as long as as long as they like. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's ridiculous. Your remand prisoners are literally on remand for years.
Yeah,
literal years.
I had a mate
Here-
who was held for 6 months, Scott. He was South African, and he flew into the States, and he had completely forgotten that, like, literally 15 years earlier, he'd been pulled over in his car, and for speeding, and they'd found a little bit of weed in his glove box. And they said, "Oh, you need to turn up at court at this particular date." And he went, "Yeah, whatever." Flew out the country, never thought about it again. And obviously, it was still on the record. He was arrested at the airport in Texas when he landed and held for 6 months before they went, "Oh, yeah, okay, here's a fine of $500. You can go."
Right. And that's not even a long time.
Yeah.
That's in America. That's not even a long time. That's like that's the maximum here. You're supposed to be on remand. I know the whole court system here is real fucked up right now, but it originally is you're only supposed to be held on remand for 6 months, and that you have to have had your trial by then. But obviously now COVID, blah blah blah. But in America, it doesn't work like that.
There is the codicil to this, Scott, which is if you have a lot of money, you don't actually get locked up at all. So
you can make bail. Do you know what I mean? I think you do see somebody. You do see someone about whether you can go on bail or not. But I think that still can take like a week, right, Mikey?
It depends. It depends on what you did and all that stuff. But a lot of cities, like I think Chicago is one of them, going for like no cash bail, which is exactly that thing. So if I don't have the $500 to bail myself out, then you sit there until the court has time to see you. Yeah. And then if anybody has any over presiding things, something that's more important than you and your little DUI or whatever, then you sit for another day. And if something else happens, then you sit for 2 days. And then something else happens. Oh, it's the weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Right. And then people like have jobs, they have kids, their rent hasn't been paid, their bills haven't been paid. Like their lives are crumbling.
It's destroying your life completely.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. But then no one wants to put any money towards this shit in America.
And the best part is the statistic that, what is it, 60% of Americans are like one emergency away from being bankrupt, like that $500. Like, do you have money for a $500 emergency? That's the $500 emergency. So if you get picked up on a bullshit, like I had some weed in my glove box ticket from 85, and they find you and they catch you and they arrest you, and you don't have that $500 to get out, you have to sit.
Wow.
Lawyers.
You get out, you don't know.
What a system. The land of the free.
But then
go to jail.
But then when the lefties talk about no cash bail, and like, look, dude, if it's just a court thing and you need him to come back to court, put a thing on his ankle, do whatever you got to do. It's not that big of a deal. We don't have the space in the prisons. We can't afford to keep doing this to every single person who literally, it's debtor's prison. It's the redux of the debtor's prison.
Literally.
Here's a question you might be able to answer. If you go to jail in America, go to prison, do you get health care?
Jail or prison? Which one are you talking about? Because they're different.
There's 2 different things.
You go to prison, you get health care.
Prison has a medical ward. Yeah.
So you have free health care.
If you can call it that.
It's really shit. It's really shit care.
There's a lot to be said for going to prison.
If you're not, it's to stop bleeding. And if you have a medical thing that legally we have to give you medicine for, you'll get that. That's about it. They do stitches at the infirmary. You know what I mean? Like,
genuine question. If you get my condition, you get a tumor or leukemia or something. What happens? Do you have to be paying into some insurance?
Are you still in prison?
I think in prison you get.
Yeah, I'm in prison and I get cancer. What happens?
Oh, you're dead.
Okay.
That's it. Because they're not going to treat you, or they're going to treat you, but in the worst, skimpiest, like not giving
bikini.
like a 10% effort way.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say they were going to treat me in the skimpiest bikini.
Those boys walk in.
That's a current fantasy of mine in the radiology department.
Please wear a bikini today.
That's crazy. So they literally, you'd go in randomness. You get cancer 6 months into your sentence. You're just going to die.
The amount of hepatitis A and C that is running rampant through the prison population is crazy. They don't care about these people. Like, just like in Texas and Alabama and Florida, they don't have air conditioning. So there were people like crawling to the top of their little thing to get air because it's like 105 or something in their cell.
Well, a lot of those prisons now are outdoor prisons, aren't they?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So,
Remind me not to go to America
Mm.
or commit crimes.
America is a dice roll. It is 50% casino and 50% jail.
Wow.
Either you will become a millionaire or you will go to prison. And no, there is no in between.
Wow. Polarization, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Graham, it's mostly down to the difference in the civil service. This is talking about why it takes so long in America for the gap between the election and the actual inauguration. In the UK, ours are free from party politics, meaning they don't get switched when we get a new government in, hence the speedy transition. In the US, they all change.
So yeah, that's strictly true, though, is it? Because some of the civil service are permanent, aren't they?
Well, some of them stay between administrations because they are the shit at their job and they're the best at this position. So
the civil service is supposed to be impartial.
Yeah, but Trump is proposing. I mean, Project 2025 is suggesting that they're going to replace all. They're going to give them all a loyalty test, and
which makes it impartial, which is kind of like the Nazis. But anyway, it's gone.
But you see how they didn't get their speaker through on the first try.
Mike Johnson didn't go through on the first go.
They had to vote twice.
What?
Yeah.
He's a puppet. He's butt monkey. Like
that technically they didn't vote twice. The gavel didn't come down. They voted once, but they changed their minds before the gavel.
Don't listen to Graham. Don't listen to Graham and his pedancy.
Graham, I didn't see it. Did they actually stop? Did somebody have to stop the gavel coming down?
They had to run over it. They put their hand in the way, and the gavel came down the hand, and they were like, "Ah!" But they couldn't scream because that's the convention that you're not allowed to scream in the House of the Congress building. That's one of the rules. You can't scream. You can't call someone a liar, and you can't take a shit on the bench and then throw it at someone.
Marjorie Taylor Greene yelled, "Liar!
Liar! Liar!"
She's such a Karen.
Well, a cannon. A cannon. A cannon. Oh, sorry. I think she's such a like a loose cannon. She's a loose cannon.
Proper English.
She's a loose Karen.
She is a loose Karen. Oh, that's her book. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the loose Karen.
Loose Karen.
It's like but she's nuts. Has she been re-elected, or is she not up for election in that?
I think we got 2 years, and then we'll see. But she's
totally struggling. She's really struggling with the Elon Musk civil war, isn't she? I think.
Is she?
Her and Boebert barely squeaked through. Like both of them had to switch districts because they wouldn't have won in their original district.
Yeah, she switched it a while ago.
And like I don't think Boebert's going to win the next time because me and some liberals, some lefties, were definitely giving a lot of credit to the guy who almost beat her. So I think that guy had already raised like $435,000 for his next election a week after he lost, or a week after it was decided. So,
what about Margarine?
I think she's in a smaller district now. She went up into like northwestern Georgia, where there's like more racists. So she should probably be fine, but who knows? Maybe somebody can carpet bag up there and get her out of there.
So we got a super chat in from Ivan Ambrose. Very kind of you. Thank you so much, Ivan. 20 quid. Thank you. For me today, the straw broke the camel's back with Professor Tim Wilson. He's so self-righteous and has the inability to agree to disagree. He moans for the sake of moaning. Hang on, that's what I do, mate. Enough is enough. No more watching his channels. No more watching his videos, sorry. Thanks, Ivan, for the super chat. Please don't turn that on me. I've probably been accused of all that myself. And Chris C says, I don't watch him and have stopped watching Politics Joe as well. Okay, well, if you just want to watch this channel, and obviously Phil's channel as well, a different bias, and also Super Tansky's channel, and Aid's channel, and Ollie's channel, and Marina and
Mikey's
Gemma's
channel.
Mikey's channel, the Bin Podcast.
Mike is the only one looking out for us.
The Bin Podcast.
That's
Get
Mike's,
in the bin.
We're gonna stick together.
Yeah. And
union.
we can help each other out. Yeah, we're trying to unionize. We've got to unionize, man, because the right wing have just got the monopoly on people going on the internet and talking shit. We need to take that back. We need to take it back for the people who are a bit more sensible.
We need to talk left-wing shit.
We need to talk left-wing shit.
More left-wing shit on the airwaves.
Power to the People says, I unsubscribed from Professor Wilson after he was so dismissive and rude about private schools with Graham on Sunday Roast. Oh no! Now I'm not going to get invited back onto Sunday Roast ever again. Alex is going to see that.
Wait. What was this Sunday Roast?
I was about to say, can you give some backstory, or are you guys just going to keep talking amongst yourselves like everybody knows what you're talking about?
So there's another channel called Political X that our mate Alex runs, and he does a show on Sunday mornings called Sunday Roast. It's a pre-recorded show, and I was on it the other week with Alex himself, and then Liz Webster, who runs Save British Farming, and this guy, Professor Tim Wilson, who's a Brexiter. I didn't actually know he was a Brexiter before I did the show. It was only afterwards when someone mentioned it to me. I went, oh, was he? I can't remember whether I said something very horrific and dismissive about Brexit people. But basically, all three of the people on the panel, apart from me, went to private school. And the topic of private schools came up, and everyone, apart from Alex, who was kind of on my side, was like, shut up, Graham. It's the politics of envy. Shut up with your politics of envy, you pleb.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's what he said to you?
Did Alex go to private school?
Yes.
Can we not just own? Why don't we just try and own this idea of the politics of envy? Why don't we just go, yeah, we want some of your shit?
Yeah.
That's all right.
And if you won't give it to us, we've got to fucking take it.
You seem to have plenty. Give us some of the shit.
The politics of, I'll have some of that.
But this is what they do. If you haven't got stuff and you say, hey, that's not fair, they say, it's the politics of envy. Or if you have got stuff and you say, hey, that's not fair, they go, oh, you champagne socialist. Oh!
Yeah, the left are never working class anymore. They're just this or that. It's such a joke, really. Do you know what I mean? But they've turned it into such a thing where two opposite positions can be true at the same time. It's so fucked up and dumb. But that's what happens. You're completely right.
Yeah. Lee Corner.
I literally just said nothing in that statement whatsoever.
I thought you were right.
It sounded really eloquent.
It did sound very eloquent. Whatever you said, I agree.
It was a very long-winded way to say I agree.
That's your Jordan Peterson moment for us. Whatever it was you said, it sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
It sounded great, but it meant nothing.
The thing is with Jordan Peterson, he sounds ridiculous. I don't know how anyone can take him seriously with that voice. He sounds like Kermit the fucking Frog.
No, he doesn't sound like Kermit the Frog. He really sounds like a nervous Kermit the Frog.
I don't think it really matters what you how you sound. As long as your people that are listening to you agree with you, they're all right with it.
I just don't understand why black people just don't pick themselves up by their bootstraps. I'm a lobster and a lobster lover.
You know what? That's literally the same thing that the Tories here are saying about, if you want to get on and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and then maybe you can send your kids to private school. But everyone should be able to.
Did you see the story this week? I think it was in the Mail or something. This woman that they were lauding, saying 12.5 grand a year salaried woman.
That's such bullshit.
Who scrimps and saves to
12.5 grand.
Private school.
Rubbish.
And whoever wrote this is just like, you
couldn't write
12.5 grand that sends a kid to private school.
It was a literal work of fiction. It was a work
Scrimps and saves, though, Graham. Scrimps and saves.
Yeah, but the fees alone would be thousands. I mean, like half their money would go.
She gets a discount. But she only gets a 3.5 grand discount. But she's still, I think it's a third of her salary goes to the private school.
So the kid's just going up there on a donkey cart wearing scraps of clothing.
Yeah,
Come, child, I got you in, but that was it.
The reason she's done it is because she'd sent her other daughter to a public school, and people wanted, she was pressured to get a mobile phone and all that. It's just the most ridiculous shit. Nothing to do with her education at all. And so I'm going to send my son to private school. It's a fucking work of fiction. It's impossible, absolutely impossible to be on 12 grand a year and send your kids to private school. Absolutely impossible. You would not be able to live.
You couldn't send a kid to state school on that income. Having a kid is fucking expensive.
The kid's not eating.
Yeah,
school.
You got to buy food. You got to pay for your rent or your mortgage. I assume you got.
Where's the kid gonna live?
Her rent was $720 a month.
We don't know the name of the school.
Where is she living? That's £720 a month in England.
Yeah, I want to move there.
In a fucking hovel. Is she living?
Also,
is she literally living in a cupboard?
So how much?
Also,
was her total,
I don't think she revealed that
her...
it's actually the Fagin private school that she's sending him to, basically, and he's learning to pick a pocket.
It's the Fagin school.
It's a fucking work of fiction. It's a lie. Every word of it, fucking lie.
How much did you say her income was?
12 grand a year.
500.
Okay, so that's $720 a month times 12 months is $86.40.
Yeah.
Right.
So literally, you don't have enough money.
Right. It's a lie. It's a literal lie.
Just literally don't have enough money.
Like, that's the person that's going to be most affected by the VAT rise.
Do you know what? There's a chance that she does earn that a year, but she's the director of her own company and she just takes loads of dividends out, because that caught a lot of people out during COVID, because their official income was only 12 grand a year to keep them under the level threshold that you had to pay income tax. And yet they were given like $500,000 in dividends every year. So,
like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Read between the lines, folks. Sorry, go on.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene had to get that COVID money to save her business that wasn't doing bad at all, and then voted that they didn't have to pay it back.
Yeah,
isn't that great?
Yeah,
that in here.
Ivan Ambrose, again, thank you for another 20 quid. It's very kind of you, Ivan.
Saying taking off clothing here.
Ivan, strip super chats. It's not that kind of channel. It's not OnlyFans. Although I'm very tempted.
That was another 20.
I'm very tempted to do OnlyFans. You know, what do I have to show me feet or me arse, and someone will give me money for it? Oh, man.
I'll show you my titties.
Yeah. Ivan, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. Professor Tim Wilson is someone who will moan, whoever the government is. He would do well to discuss actual issues like disability. He wouldn't know where to start, though. Not once have I heard him mention neurodiversity. He's from another dimension. He's from another generation, and they don't really get neurodiversity, because they didn't know what it was. They just thought the ADHD kid was naughty. They just thought that the kid with dyslexia was thick. They just thought the person who was actually deaf just didn't listen, and they just had that attitude which they carried through life, and they never bothered. It never bothered them. So
most people will die soon, so it's okay.
Yes. Power to the people. I've got to mention Power to the People's channel. Power to the People's channel. I've just got to mention that because I was told to. By Power to the People. Power to the People saying Owen Jones is the perfect example of a champagne socialist. I wouldn't call him a champagne socialist. I don't,
Not really.
And the thing is, Owen Jones and Professor Tim Wilson and Liz Webster, I mean, you can disagree with their politics, but I don't think they're bad people. I don't think they're out to, do people
Owen
in.
Jones is a bad person. He's a wanker.
Owen Jones.
I know he's a wanker.
He's a total wanker.
I know it's politics a wank, but I don't think as an individual he's a...
I'm serious. As an individual, I don't think he's a very pleasant person.
Okay. Have you met him?
I don't know him personally.
I haven't met him. I have talked to him online. He's very unpleasant.
Right, okay.
For no reason. He's a very unpleasant person.
I've actually met him, and he was very unpleasant to me.
He was a wanker to me. And that's fine. We can disagree on something. You don't need to be a complete fucking cunt about it, especially when we're really on both the same side, So I just don't. For me, that there's nothing anybody can say that made me think that guy is a good person. His whole thing is a shtick. The whole thing is a shtick. I think if given the right amount of money, he'd flip right back to a right wing, be a right wing shill. Fuck that guy.
Scott, when you say there's nothing, when I met Owen Jones, he said that you were the most attractive man he'd ever met in his life.
No, I wouldn't suck his dick for £1 million.
Wow.
Bullshit. 200,000 pounds, you'd do it right now.
No way.
That's a lot of money.
No way.
I'll do it for 200,000 pounds. Jesus Christ.
I'll be honest with you, Scott, I'd consider
How long?
it.
200 grand?
We're not getting much love. We're not getting much love for him in the chat. Gareth is saying that he should do a 365-day sponsored silence, and I've been pointing out that he ignores disability.
I would perform oral sex on a woman every day for a month, then suck on
Yeah.
And I volunteer for that, actually.
Sfax is saying I was. Sfax is saying I was
We're
told.
handing out jobs.
Sfax is saying I was told throughout school that I'm smart but lazy, and now I'm diagnosed with ADHD. I feel like the Professor Tim would be one of those calling ADHD kids smart but lazy. Yeah, I got that. I got like, you know, just he has the ability to know all this stuff, but he just can't apply it. You know, can't apply himself. And Chris C, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. It's very kind of you. Sadly, Graham, there are plenty of people, namely the older generation, that still think kids with ADHD are naughty and need corporal punishment, which is
steady on,
just
Chris.
hit them.
Thanks,
Thanks
for the super chat, but less dissing on the older generation.
Just hit them until they listen.
Especially the older generation that's got ADHD and was corporally punished as a child.
You're not the old generation.
In that category, Mike.
You're not that old.
In this room, I am. Look, Mikey's 12.
Well, how old are you, Mike?
57.
Right.
Right. So you're only just over a decade older than me. So that's not that much. I'm not like drawing me pension anytime soon.
It depends where Chris is in the generational.
Yeah, see, Mike, you're 57, Graham's 47, and I'm 37.
I'm 45. 45.
Scott's 17.
I am.
I was about to say Scott's 20, turning 21 soon.
All the generations are represented here.
It's all the oil of Olay, or as I like to call it, I like to call it oil of Ulay, because that's what it was called when I started using it. That's how old I am.
Scott's our Zoomer correspondent. He knows all about the skibbity toilet, you know.
The what? The what? What's the skippity toilet? What is this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is this an American thing?
Ask
Definitely.
a kid. I can't reveal that I know the secret password, but I know.
Have you been learning like. Gen Z language?
I've been speaking their tongue.
My word.
I don't understand any of it, but I know skibbity toilet is very important.
I've never even heard that one. I like to think I'm a little fluid in Gen Z.
Like as dumb as our like idiot kid vernacular was, theirs is worse. Like I just have to say it. Like I felt like ours was like creative. Like we came up with
but you see every older generation says that, Mikey. That's the thing.
I know, but
music was so much better in my generation.
Oh, in my day.
You could understand all the lyrics. That's the thing.
I like a lot of new stuff, and I think a lot of new stuff's really cool. But what upsets me is like it's just the fact that like obviously when I was growing up, people like Nirvana and Pearl Jam were coming out, and it was cutting edge. Do you know what I mean? Like that was cutting edge music, and then when I hit 35, it became dad rock, and that just fucked me up. Me up.
So you shouldn't listen to it. Never go back.
That's a place of honor. That's a place of honor.
Burn your record collection.
There. You want to Taking Back Sunday is about to be on the radio again. We did it, y'all. We did it.
Always been shit though.
Sunday?
Mikey, for decades, I've been telling myself that people would rediscover the Bay City Rollers, and it's just not happened.
No, it just hasn't happened yet. Don't give up hope, Mike.
I'm hoping for Shawaddy Waddy to make a comeback.
Yeah.
I
got all my tartan shirts and.
I'm waiting for the Teletubbies to write a new hit too. You know
I got a new Yomega yo-yo. I'm sure all the kids will be playing with them again. Dude, late 90s, yo-yos were the biggest toy in my school. Everybody had it. No fidget spinners. We had yo-yos.
I'm sorry, how old are you?
No, we had spinners. That's what we had.
Yo-yos were around when I was a kid.
Sponsored yo-yos. It was a big craze in the mid-80s.
We were allowed to play with a lump of coal from the mine.
But
only on a Sunday.
And the crust of a stale bit of bread.
On our afternoon off. When we were allowed to go to church and just
play with this, son, and you just give me a
after you were sent down there to get into the small crevice,
trying to eat it.
Exactly.
What, Daddy? It doesn't taste very nice.
There was that one glorious
day that son.
The mailman left a rubber band on the floor, and boy, did we have fun.
We've got
rubber band for about 6 weeks.
We got another super chat come in from Chris. Thank you very much. I mean the boomer generation, and I am 40. Yeah, we were having a go at boomers, Mike. You're not a boomer. You're definitely not a boomer. Boomers.
Boomer, you're millennial.
Lead in the paint. Lead in the pipe petrol, lead in the pipes,
My
lead in the makeup.
My mum's a boomer, though. You know,
Yeah,
she's nice.
full of lead.
Well, no, she's
Yeah, she is.
not that nice.
My mom's a boomer too.
My mum's a boomer, but she's brilliant. Ernie Burns, she might be watching. Hi, mum. Ernie Burns. Hello, everyone. Ernie Burns says Owen Jones is an example of the biggest, oldest problem with journalism: egotism. And Captain says Professor Tim's comment section is questionable, to say the least. 2C and Russ Robinson fans, which doesn't sound great. Paul is saying Graham's the only one who's been in prison. Well, I wasn't in prison. I was in a holding cell for 2 weeks, 2 different cells for 1 week each. And Gareth is saying I'm dyslexic, and my teacher branded me factory fodder. I thought of her when I collected my citation in Afghanistan. Chris is saying, I used to watch Owen Jones and then I found him to be annoying and full of himself. Oh, God. Chris, I'm feeling like, I'm feeling pressure not to do things. So I come across as like Owen Jones. I've met Owen Jones a couple of times. I thought he was all right. Do you know what I mean? What? I thought he was all right.
As an American, he sounds just as arrogant and annoying as all of the rest of you, and it's hard to distinguish, just so you guys are clear. Yeah. As an outside observer, he sounds like all the rest of you. So I don't know what y'all are talking about. You guys all sound like Piers Morgan on some days, which is a little high on the hog.
What?
And a little too full of yourselves. That's all of you.
I'm sorry, you
on the mossy island.
You sound like Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene had a child, and it's you.
Yeah,
all Americans sound the same to me.
Sorry, Graham.
Nice.
Graham, can I just
like
question the editorial decision to let these Americans on the program?
I know, yeah, that's true.
I know it's good to laugh at them, but honestly,
they just want to exercise,
allowing them bloody opinions.
They keep exercising their First Amendment rights, when maybe they should be amended. That they should be, using the Fifth. Anyway, yeah. Lee is saying Owen Jones is contrarian, and yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, I've got to say. But I've met a few of these people that you get on the TV or whatever.
Graham, he tried to get you on an interview.
He's interviewed me twice. He's done. I've done 2 interviews with him.
Yeah,
the first one he didn't publish, and the second one he didn't publish in its entirety. But he did have this moment, which I think's on the interview. I haven't watched it back myself. Where he says, I bet you made up that Keir Starmer's now.
He's such a wanker.
Lord's a commander of the chief troops of the world. And I'm like, I don't care. He's just a bloke.
A wanker.
He just looked at me like, what do you mean he's just a bloke? Surely you must worship the ground he walks on. I'm like, I don't give a toss.
Right. Like he thinks people that are not like him are just automatically Trumpers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what Graham does to me.
Blue Badger's saying this. Blue Badger's saying this. He's saying Graham looks for things to agree on. Owen looks for an inquisition. Isn't that right, Mikey?
You literally do the same thing to me. This is proving my point.
What point?
You guys are the same.
Mate.
You just understand.
That's why you don't agree. That's why you don't agree.
Owen Jones, Graham Hughes. Separated up.
Paul says, no, take that back, American.
No, because what it is I get it too. Because when people have the exact same personality as me, but they have a different kind of like ideology, I hate that fucking person. I hate them because they're me. You guys hate him because he's you and he's not saying the right thing.
I don't think that's true. Fine. I don't think that's true. I mean, I get this sometimes when people go,
do you get more annoyed by him, or do you get more annoyed by like a rabid Tory out in the wild?
A rabid Tory out in the wild.
You probably get, I would say you'd probably get more pissed off at the person who should be saying better things, but is saying worse things. That hurts a little bit. It digs a little deeper than if a random, like if I saw some dude out there with a Make America Great Again hat on saying, we're going to take Canada. Yeah, sure. Whatever, asshole.
I think Owen should do better. I'm not like, I think he's a white guy. I think he should do better.
Right. So it's not.
But he would say the same thing. He would say the same thing about me.
It's more or less about the disappointment that he's not using his platform and his time in the spotlight to be better. So that's the letdown. That's what makes him the wanker.
Owen definitely ended up a disappointment. He ended up a disappointment.
He's a disappointment.
Because but the primary thing, it's not really about his politics or anything really. It's primarily about,
his attitude.
As Graham said, it was the hero worship of Corbyn, and the it's a cult that he tried to formulate, basically, that was just pointless.
I agree with Mike.
It wasn't ideology, it was worship.
People I feel like who should be on our side do annoy me more. They just do. Like I'm just like, come on, you know,
Yes, that's
yeah.
the part.
I expect Tories to Tory, and of course they're going to
that's
do
true.
that.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah,
You don't expect- you
I
don't
do
expect
find
it
it
out of
very
the Tories.
frustrating when, and that was the topic of the first
During-
time he interviewed me. I was like, because I walked past him, and as I walked past him, I went "Rrrr," like that as a joke. And then he came back to me, but why did you just do that to me? I said, because, you know, you're a pain in the arse.
You're a wanker.
Yeah, you're a wanker. And he goes, why is he a wanker? I was like, because you're attacking Labour all the time. And, you know, they're not in power at the moment. When they're in power, attack them all you like. I don't care. They'll be in power. But at the moment, we need the Tories out. Oh, so you agree with all these things that Keir Starmer's doing and the fact that he's lied about all these things? I don't care. I just want the Tories out. And then we can have a discussion. So this time when we met, I said, yeah, fine. I mean, it wasn't much of a discussion, really, because I just went, yeah, if you've got a problem with the government, I've got no problem with you having a problem with the government, because at least it's the Labour government. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating. Anyway, I've got some super chats. Sorry.
Super chat.
Super chat. I've got one Angry Pagan asking for some Southwest representation tonight. Thank you very much for that, one Angry Pagan. I'm really sorry, because I did say that I was going to do a show with you and Megan Elite and Power to the People and a couple of others. I was going to set it up through Discord, and we'll do our own little show. And I didn't get a chance to do that because Christmas and Twixmas and New Year just went a bit mad, and I didn't get to do the things that I wanted to do, unfortunately, for a couple of reasons. One of them was technical. I've had to send my laptop off to the laptop hospital to get fixed, which is really, really irritating to me, because normally I fix my own fucking laptop, but it was still within warranty. It's got a 1-year warranty on it, right?
So I'm going to give you a new one.
And then when I called up and said, hey, I need this fixing, they went, oh, but because it's been more than 6 months, you're going to have to pay for the postage, and it's going to be £60. And I was like, fuck off. Like, when did it run out? He went, like, 3 days ago. I said, 3 days ago? It's fucking New Year, mate. Anyway, they let me off. Thank you, PC specialist. They let me off. But yeah, bit annoying. You off. Anyway, what I'm going to yeah, we will set this up in the next week. I'll talk to you on Discord, and we will definitely set up a show. I've got a couple of ideas actually, which is separate to this. So I'll let dangerous. You know. I know. I'm full of dangerous ideas. Tim Ballum says, I hear Mikey, and all I hear is Rich Benoy. Who's Rich Benoy?
Rich Benoy.
I don't know who Rich Benoy is, Tim. Sorry. I did not get that reference.
Please put in a explaining the diss message, because I don't know why I'm insulted.
Yeah.
But I'm insulted.
And Gareth T, yes, who's been a member for 6 months. Gareth has written to me asking if he can do a show about prison, which I want to do. I want to do one of the episodes of How We Fix Britain, about the prison service. So I will be in touch with you about that presently. I'm yeah, shit. We're getting there. I'm also having my diagnosis appointment for ADHD next week. So hopefully things will start getting a bit less ad hoc. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But
medicate him.
Yeah, generally speaking, about half an hour before the show goes live, I go on our group and go, is anyone coming on tonight? I've done that once and no one came on. Do you know about that, Mike? This was like last year. I was like, I did like a whole 2-hour show on my own, and I called it the Labour Antisocial instead of the Labour Social. Ivan, thank you very much for the £20 super chat, my friend. That is very kind of you. I would like to get to the point where my mental health treatment and that of other patients is on the NHS again. Instead of 250 quid, I have to pay for each appointment with my psychiatrist. All the Tories' fault. And that's absolutely disgraceful that you've got to pay that.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Wait till you get dementia. Jesus Christ. The amount that they charge you to come round to the house, or, you know, if you have to go into a home, you're talking about thousands of pounds a week. It is just, yeah. It's one hell of an inheritance tax. Yeah, well, if you are going to get sick, don't get dementia, because they don't really care about dementia. They just want to, don't want to look after you. Tim, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. At Rich Rebuilds, there's that's.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who Rich Rebuilds is? What that is?
Yeah.
What
was the original thing now?
Saying, oh, I hear Mikey, and all I hear is Rich Benoy.
So the Rich Rebuilds guy.
What does he do?
I can't connect the dot. Well, he's the guy who goes after he would take all those salvage Teslas and fix them himself, because he's an electrical engineer and a computer engineer. So he would just be the Tesla fixing thing, and he would make his own custom shits. He's made a lot of cool little project things. His YouTube channel is pretty serious.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, maybe he's an American, and all Americans sound the same to Tim, I guess.
I probably do sound a little bit like him now that I think about it. that probably, that fits.
Where's Mike fucked off to? Mike's just walked off. He's had enough. Scott's just surfing the internet. Do people still surf the internet, or was that a very 90s thing to say?
Yeah, sorry, I was just surfing the internet. There was this massive wave of
showing
internet.
my age. There
was a tsunami.
Obvious when I start looking at stuff online.
Let's get yes, it
to,
is. We can see your eyes moving like across the line. You know, you can see you reading like this. What are you reading about, Scott?
I got away with that.
What are you reading about? What are you reading about? Tell us. God, this is gonna be funny. Go on. What are you reading about?
He can't tell us.
I was looking for vinyl records.
You're looking for
I
what?
was looking for records by a band called Kitty.
Oh, okay. You were looking for records. Records
Yeah.
to burn, mate. Records to burn. Do you know, really, realistically, though, there's only one record that anyone needs. And do you know what it is? It's a Guinness World Record.
Oh, there it is.
For
There
being
it
the first
is.
person to visit every country in the world without flying. Yeah.
Why have you got that?
Because I'm the first person to visit every country in the world without flying.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I came up with the idea. No one's done it before.
You know what? You should write a book about that.
I should totally write a book about that. And if I did write a book, it'd be called Man of the World, and it would have me with my friend Steph and my friend Raven.
That's a really good idea. That's convenient that you've
Redoing the
got...
cover of Mastermind, the game from the 1970s. You remember Mastermind, the game?
Yeah,
That's my take on it. We're going to do a trilogy. The second one, we're going to be on top of a mountain. And the last one, we're going to be going over the edge of the world on a raft.
Stealing the design is what you mean. You sat there looking for inspiration for the front cover, and you went, "Yeah, I'll just copy that Mastermind box."
Yeah, copy Mastermind. It was just a little, you know. But that book came out the year before the Me Too movement, so now I feel a bit dicey about it because it's a bit like me going, playing a game with two girls. Anyway, moving on. Ivan, thank you very much for rescuing me out of that pit that I just dug for myself with a super chat. Woohoo! Graham, before Christmas, you said I could come on live too for a show. Could you please let me know about getting this sorted, please? Yes. So we've got Reagan Elite, Power to the People. We've got one angry pagan, and we've got Ivan. Okay, yes. We will do this. We'll make a show. And Gareth, if you're available on Sunday evening, let me know because we'll do. I'd like to do the prison show, talking about that with you on Sunday. So if you are available, let me know. Not necessarily in the chat. You can email me. You got my email. Anyway, moving on. Scott, how's it going? Have you found your record? Makeup.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
About
what we were just talking about.
Was the power of the people thing.
No, I was just trying to fuck with you. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good try.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, so can we talk a little bit about Kemi Badenoch, and we'll explain to Mikey maybe what Kemi Badenoch's been up to this week.
I know all about her.
Okay. Do you know what she's been up to?
Yeah, she is a fencer from Algeria. Right?
No. Kemi Badenoch is the leader of the Conservative Party in this country.
That's what I was going to say, and then you cut me off. But yeah, that thing too.
Okay. Anyway, so this week, she has joined a chorus of voices, including Tommy Robinson for some reason, Elon Musk for some reason, and others who are screaming about the fact that there are these grooming gangs.
Is anyone going to do anything about this?
Is anyone going to do anything about this? And they want...
About what?
About the grooming gangs.
Grooming gangs, Mikey. Do you not know about the grooming? Elon Musk.
We don't have them here.
Well, the president of America, Elon Musk, appears to be pretty enamored to sort this out.
He's vexed.
I'm pretty sure President Musk would have said something about it.
He has said something about it.
He said that on X.
He genuinely has commented about the big problem in Rotherham. I mean, how the hell has he got the time to worry about the bloody grooming gangs of Rotherham?
Here's a few things, right? This whole grooming gangs thing. So basically, this is gangs of people who men who predominantly got together and decided to start abusing young women, girls, and getting away with it because they were part of these gangs, and the police turned a blind eye, and there was a big. There was a literal inquiry that started in like 2015. It took years to come through. The findings were given out in 2022. And Kemi Badenoch at the time was Minister for Women And the Conservative government at the time, and Kemi Badenoch, who was Minister for Women, did nothing. They chose to do nothing with any of the stuff that was found out in this report.
Objection.
Now,
What's the Ministry of Women?
It's the Ministry of Women. That's what it. Minister. She was in charge of women and equal rights or something.
Under
So
the
she's the
Tories, it
queen
largely
of
meant
the
an
women?
extra
Yeah.
title you
Yeah.
added to another minister in order to double their salary.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's good.
essentially, she was the Minister for Women, and this obviously predominantly affected women. She didn't do anything about the report that was undertaken during the Conservatives' time in government, and the report that came out, they did nothing about it. And then this week, she said that Keir Starmer needs to instigate an independent report into all this.
Hey, remember when I said that shit about Matt Gaetz and you guys were like, well, I don't know. Why did they do it? Same shit. It's the same shit. You guys are having the same problem we're having.
Hey,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Same
yeah.
shit.
What?
It's the same shit. It's people in office getting away with doing dirty shit, and then other people in office making sure that no
Mikey.
one hears about that shit.
No, Mikey.
We're
Did I miss
not
something?
talking about people, actual politicians.
It's not
When we're talking
politicians.
about grooming gangs, right? We're talking about to me, when people say grooming gangs, right? It's kind of pointed. They're really talking more about Muslim grooming gangs or Islamic grooming gangs or Asian.
Well, those are
grooming gangs.
those are the gangs they're referring to, because there are
Yeah,
plenty
that's what I'm
of
saying.
groups of
So
white men doing the same thing.
Yeah, right. It seems very racially pointed. And,
It is very racially pointed.
yeah,
and
yeah.
also, here's the facts. White men are proportionately more likely, even though they're more in the population, but by proportion of what they make up of society, they're more likely to be in a grooming gang than anyone who's Asian or black or any other ethnic minority. Okay, so the reason why...
Maybe someone needs to talk to Hugh Edwards, where he found all his fucking all the photos on his phone. Where'd he get them from?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but he's
It's
white and
basically-
rich.
Oh, sorry, Mikey. He was a very famous news presenter here in the UK, and he got found out for having a relationship with a 17-year-old boy. And then, is that right? 17-year-old
Yeah.
boy, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they found very, very dubious photographs on his phone.
You know, every
Other
time
children.
I watch Donnie Darko, I realize it was a documentary. So I'm just waiting for the bubble to open up, and then they're like, for like the sky to open, and I can just like go through different dimensions. It's always popular people that have such dirty shit on their phone.
Yeah, that's what
Criminally
we're
wrong
talking about. So
shit.
it's funny when Kemi Badenoch goes on television and goes, we need to destroy the grooming gang. We need to come after the grooming gangs. She's literally being racist for a start, and she's not addressing the actual problem. So it's a fucking dog whistle.
Yeah, but why are they doing this? Like, why go
Because
after
Elon Musk
grooming
has brought it up.
gangs?
Because
And why make a big thing?
Gus Phillips about it. Huh?
Okay, so the big thing they're trying to do is say that these gangs that are raping white girls are from India, are from Africa, are from these other countries, and we should be able to send them back to those countries. But occasionally, because they have the death penalty in that country, we can't send them back. We normally send back anyone who's not a British citizen back to where they came from. And in fact, we
it's not
take
about
away...
the UNHCR, is it? It's not about
Hang on,
human rights.
well, let me get to it.
Oh no!
So that's generally what we do. If you have dual citizenship, they will, Britain and somewhere else, they say Bangladesh, they will take your British citizenship away, which is what they did to Begum. What's her name? The woman, the young girl who left to join
the young girl who was
ISIS.
groomed into a terrorist organization.
Yeah. They took her
If she was
British
white,
passport
groomed into
away.
a terrorist organization, they wouldn't have taken away her fucking.
That's a different kind of grooming, Scott. That's
still. It's still grooming.
But
no, I agree with you completely. I'm just saying
the reason
dual standards of everything.
So the reason why they're making a big fuss about this now is because they are gearing up exactly the same way they geared up towards Brexit. Okay, so don't fall for it. Anyone watching this, please don't fall for this shit. Basically, they're going to go, oh, look, the only reason why we can't send these people back is because they've got the death penalty in their country, and that's part of the European Court of Human or Commission, the Convention of Human Rights, and as a result of us being part of that, then we can't send them back to this country. So we've got a foreign court, and they've done this time and time again in Parliament. They refer to the ECHR as a foreign court when it is not. It is a European court, and we're part of Europe. So it's a bit like saying, well, no, we're still part of, geographically, we're still part of Europe. We're still part of the Council of Europe. We're still beholden to a lot of...
We're still part of the European Convention on Human Rights.
Yeah. And they're trying to get us out of this so they can exploit
thing
us.
to the EU.
Yeah.
And it's also something we created and wrote the rules for, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they'll say, no, we'll be okay. We'll make our own Bill of Rights over here, and it'll be just as good, and it won't be, because it'll be exactly like Brexit all over again. Exactly like Brexit.
That's a lot of shit. It deflects away from actual real problems that this country's having, rather than just, you know, it's and like I said, Kemi Badenoch is such an opportunist that she just sort of jumps on whatever is, you know.
I had a great
populism, right? It she just jumps on whatever is like sort of.
There was a great line on a podcast I was listening to today that Kemi Badenoch could pick a fight in a room where she was the only person in the room.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk has waded into this as well. Like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Musk.
Well, he's Tommy Robinson's mate. So, you know.
He's tweeting
how does Tommy Robinson leverage that kind of support, though? I mean, genuinely.
Because he's a racist.
I don't understand.
And racists love each other.
Together.
Yeah.
But then Musk is fighting a rearguard action against racism as well. I mean, Musk, what was it he posted today? Something like, I can't believe how much racist stuff there is on this platform on X.
There's so many unrepentant racists on the
unrepentant
right
racists.
wing.
Also, what was that about? Why add the word unrepentant? Like, is he essentially
saying they're not sorry?
Repentant racists are okay. That's fine.
He stopped calling black people the K word months ago.
You can only be racist if you're really sorry about it. Like,
you can't be racist and sorry. That's just not how it works.
Let's work on that.
So he's just had to go at people for being racist when he's a massive racist himself, who made a load of money out of it. A racist emerald mine that his daddy owned.
Literally by birth, he is inherently racist.
Yeah,
sorry,
South African dude. Like he's got an uphill battle as a
as a white South African. He really has an uphill battle against racism. I mean, they are bred to be racist.
You really got to push back, you know, against a lot of shit.
And I know that's going to sound really offensive to other white South Africans, but you can't deny it that most white South Africans are bred to be racist. They're literally brought up that way.
Well, the younger ones aren't. You go to South Africa now, young people.
I mean, not so much the younger ones.
Yeah,
but
the older generation who grew up in apartheid, they're white. Yeah. And then there was a lot of propaganda in the 1990s about South Africa being the most dangerous place on earth, and you had to have rocket launchers and flamethrowers attached to the side of your car. It's all bullshit. And Johannesburg, I don't think was ever, I mean, someone could check on this, but I don't think it was ever the murder capital of the world. I think that's always going to be America because, you know, it's America. They just love their gun.
I'm just scrolling through Musk's
guns aren't the problem if you haven't
somebody
noticed.
Has to. So he's retweeted or reposted Liz Truss today.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Where Liz Truss, the Guardian, how many years have we got left to save the West? Liz Truss says the BBC needs to be defunded. It is incapable of being objective. Instead, it parrots the establishment line. And you think, well, who was the establishment for the last 14 years? And you kept complaining about them then. It's part of Britain's institutional failure, apparently. And Musk has retweeted this. He's got it in for the UK. The guy is just trolling governments now around the world. He's doing it in Germany as well. He wrote a big piece in Die Welt this week that's supporting the AfD.
Yeah, that went well.
Guys are nuts.
It's again pushing this line out that somehow people on the right or the extreme right are sort of the rebels or revolutionary or the outsiders in some way, instead of being the actual elite that they are. They just deny that that's the case now and just go, well, no, we're the outside thinkers. No, you're not. You're literally the elite, and you just don't want people to know that you're the elite. So yeah, it's bullshit.
I think we
Absolutely.
do.
Liz Truss is, I want to say she's nuts, and I want to say that she's mentally ill, but she kind of knows what she's saying. Like, she's just towing the same Steve Bannon sort of line.
It's a grift. It's totally a grift.
Yeah. She making money. She's
Yeah.
not worried about y'all. She's
No,
trying
she
to
doesn't
get
give a
paid.
shit about anything. As long as some cash is flowing in, she says the right thing, she's cool. So, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But then she's always been a useful idiot. So, I mean, even
It's going to be
when
interesting,
she's
isn't it?
liberal Democrat.
So here's what's going to happen, right? Musk is, I'm just reading through his timeline at the moment. He's retweeting Reform posts, Farage posts, random people that have said they've joined Reform. He's doing that. He's just, Supertansky shared a Company's House filing where Musk has created a company in London where he's the sole director of the company called X.AI, which he set up a few days ago. And supposedly that's so that he can legally pump money into Reform Limited,
Right.
the supposed party. So it's pretty obvious what his plan's going to be, and it's going to revolve around the May local elections. So essentially, Reform are going to try and put 2,000 councillors in May, and then claim that that's a referendum on the Labour government. And they probably will get to. God help any of the people that live in towns and cities that end up with a Reform council. It's just going to be a nightmare for 2 years. Personally, I think it's probably okay, other than the people in social services that, the people that need help from a council, that are not going to get it from Reform. But you might get some potholes filled in, maybe.
No, you won't.
That's one thing. Yeah, you might, because I think they'll go. That's about all they'll actually be able to do. But then what they'll do is that they will collapse. They will collapse into fights within Basingstoke Council or wherever.
They won't make it by the time there's a general election. They won't make it.
Yeah, by the time there's a general election, there'll be so many scandals, so much rubbish that they've managed to crap up. That I don't think it'll do them any good. And Trump will be out by that time anyway. So there's some hope that it's a bit like, it's not all about me and my cancer, but it's a bit like the 5 weeks I'm going through at the moment to get rid of this poxy cancer. Is the next 4 years is to get rid of the cancer of people like Musk and Trump and Farage, and hopefully get a Labour narrative that's resellable basically in 4 years' time, 5 years' time, which probably means I think Graham might be surfing the internet.
No, I'm trying to sort out Discord for some reason.
Are you on?
I don't know.
Ask Jeeves.
That's not on the internet, though.
I'm on Netscape Navigator. I'm trying to sort out.
Are you reading the hot topics on Netscape?
I don't know how fucking Discord works, and I just wish that I didn't have to do it. Sorry.
I refuse to use it. I just gave up. I was like, dude, this is annoying.
There's too many things. Do you know what I mean? There's like you go to the drop down list and like 17 things come up, and I don't know what half of them mean. And what does server boost mean? What does it do? Does it boost your server? Like, how does that work?
Boost the server.
Well, you
I
can.
know,
do
but what does that achieve? Does it go faster?
Well, you know your server is normally
works.
Going like this, yeah.
Yeah, and then you boost it and it goes faster.
It's going like yeah.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Right. Anyway,
It's so Graham, think of a server that functions properly. Now, let's say I started taking pieces of that server and parts of that technology, and then I took it away from you, and then I gave it back to you if you paid me money.
Uh-huh.
There you
That
go.
seems
So,
like
hey, you want 1080p inside your meetings?
Mikey,
Just
that
boost
sounds
your
like
server.
a business model.
Business? They're just trying to help people connect.
We
This
should
is
go
just to cover the
IPO with this
cost.
idea. This is brilliant.
There's a ton of what's it called? Discord clones running around there. Andrew Tate's got one.
I'm gonna read out Chris's super chat, Graham, while you work with Discord.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
So Chris C, thank you for the £5.
Thanks, Chris.
As a
£5.
survivor of CSA, I find Musk and Badenoch's politicizing disgusting and insulting. The majority of CSA is perpetrated by white men.
Yeah.
Chris, that's
Same thing with school shootings.
That's a devastating thing for you to type there, and thank you for sharing it as well. That can't have been a good experience at all. And I'm sorry you had to go through that.
There are lots of survivors, some inside the call even.
Yeah.
It's just disgraceful, isn't it, that they will use something like that for political gain, like at a time when no one was even talking about it. Like, there was a report, the government chose not to do anything about it, and they're trying to blame Keir Starmer, who was the guy who actually instigated the changes in the Crown Prosecution Service, so that this kind of thing wouldn't happen again.
Yeah.
Hate them.
But it's the crazy thing. They get away with this. They can just tell these lies.
Why?
With an anchor in truth. You know, it's like I posted today, you know, they stopped eating the cats and dogs. Now Donald's been elected. Because nobody seems to be mentioning it anymore.
Can I just throw one thing at you real quick, Mike? I wish everybody would stop repeating the lie so that the lie spreads.
Yeah.
Just address the lie as opposed to,
I get it, but the point really is that you can tell a lie, and then you can say I fixed that afterwards because it wasn't happening in the first place. It's just the easiest thing in the world. Whereas Keir Starmer bumbles along trying to be competent, just trying to actually do things, and then is incapable of talking about them in any exciting way.
I was just more thinking about the dignity of the people that we're referring to, and that they have to, at first, acknowledge that this bullshit claim is out there and then answer it afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more of a framing thing that it's not true, so I'm not going to lead with that. I would just say, like, the lie that Donald Trump's telling about Haitian people, and then if people want to look it up, they can look it up. But if you just repeat it,
that's a good point.
It's like when we get trolled every once in a while, and then like my friends start reading the chat. I'm like, don't read it out loud, dumb. That's what they want you to do. No, it says here that my cock has a question. And I'm like, stop. God, you're doing it. You're doing it.
That's my cousin. That's my cousin.
I've got to say, I really don't like it when people send you stuff that horrible things that people have said about you online. I prefer not reading them. So, like, when someone sends me a text message going, "Hey, Graham, have you seen what this person said about you?" I'm like, thanks. No. I didn't really need to know that I'm the world's biggest twat burger.
But I have now.
Yeah, I have now.
Hey,
welcome.
Hey, that's a badge of honor. Print that shit out, put it on the fridge.
But yeah, Kevin Crossan, thank you.
To Tan's world, though.
Yeah, Kevin Crossan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. It's really kind of you. That happens to Tan all the fucking time, and it drives up the wall. Like every day, someone will send her a message saying, "Hey, have you heard what someone said about you?" And it can really set her off. And the trolls know that, and that's why they do it.
That's why I do it.
Yeah,
because I know it upsets her.
Yeah. Chris also, as an addendum to Chris's super chat just then, that's what annoys me most about the media portrayal of it. Starmer stood up for the victims of child sexual abuse. Before then, we were rarely listened to or believed by the police or the CPS. Yeah.
I mean, as I understand it from the report, and I don't want to libel anybody, but I think the police and counsellors were involved in one of the groups, weren't they?
Yeah. It maybe, I don't know if they were as far as that, but they were covering for them. For them. And the majority of these gangs were white perpetrators, and statistically, they were more likely to be white perpetrators. But obviously, the media and the racist establishment have focused in on the fact that some of the groomers were Asian. And typical, but there's no one there on our side pointing this out in the media. I've not heard anything about this from our side. Apart from what our friends have put on the internet.
Well, no. Because there is no other side, dude. They're all the same side. They're all the same apathetic side. There is us, and then there is them. And we keep trying to convince ourselves that some section of them is part of us. But it ain't.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a super chat. Sorry.
Yeah. Until us normal people start running for office, we're gonna be stuck with the same thing. So,
I missed this because I was about to say it, and then I realized you guys were talking. So I thought, I'll just go over and sort this emergency on Discord out. So I'll do that while I'm working. Darian Destar, thank you very much for the £10 super chat, my friend. Can I never come on the show, please? Yes, you absolutely may, my friend.
Nope,
Please sign this contract, Darian.
It's in the contract. Darian saying it. My super chat to Bells Social never got mentioned. I must have hit a nerve.
Darren's just hit on something there. If I put a £10 super chat in, can I stop doing this?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Brilliant!
All right.
I didn't realise I could just pay my way out.
Yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay, and then you can escape.
Oh,
That's the way it works.
brilliant.
That's the only way to get out of
It's a
jail.
nice and sleazy politics quiz. That's the way it works, you know.
Owen Jones' article tomorrow.
Yeah.
Graham Hughes. Champagne socialist Graham Hughes charges cancer victim to get out of live chat.
Don't give him ideas. Don't give him ideas. Oh my god.
He was writing it right now. He's literally writing it right now.
Graham Hughes,
Hughes.
whose children apparently go to a private school and uses his super chats to pay for them. Thanks, Ruth, for contributing to Graham's private school fees.
Thank you. I'm scraping it together to send my I guess child, I guess, or a child, some child to find.
Random children.
Random children.
Yeah,
Send them off to private school.
This is where we go to bad territory. Graham randomly rounding up children to send to private school.
I did that in the States. It was a bad idea.
Ruth Guthrie, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Oh, Graham, I might not always agree with you, but you are the cutest on all my political viewings. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Oh.
What the hell? The bin podcast is a thing.
Stay away from my
Sorry, Ruth.
fucking man, all right?
Sorry, Ruth. Are you not watching this?
Hi.
The cutest. There's Mikey in the room for a
Hello.
start.
Hi, man, guys.
And I have a kid and a cute dog.
Yeah.
My whole
Not
house is
being
cute.
cute enough here. We need to do more cute.
The hell, Ruth? If that is your real name.
Bruce, always remember
Ruth.
that you guys have big dicks.
Ruth.
Yeah,
You know what? You know what Graham was actually doing on Disc? He was trying to work out how to set up a pseudonym on YouTube so that he could pay to say that.
He was making another account.
Ruth. I just
Don't
gave
never
myself,
guess Ruth.
gave myself a little boost there. You know, you got to do what you got to do to make it through the day, my friends.
You know, when you
Makes
get
you
the
feel
tip, when you
better.
get the tip jar, you always put like $15 in there. You know,
Yeah, get it
put, like,
started.
Just to get
A
it
couple
going.
of,
Yeah.
You just grab it out of the till and you just put like a 20 and a couple of singles, so people know this is where the money goes.
Power to the people. It's about private school or Tory youth camps, as I call them. I like to call them "See You Next Tuesday" farms, which really upsets people when I call them that. But statistically, if you send your kid to one of these schools, they are
You will see them next
statistically-
Tuesday.
They do, yeah, they're statistically more likely to turn out a bit wrong when they come out with a general lack of empathy. But
Wonder why.
I've got to say, I've got a few friends who went to private school, and they are absolutely brilliant at getting stuff. You know, when something needs to be done and no one's doing it, if you get them to call up, it'll get done. It's weird. It's as though there is some kind of secret caste system, dog whistle thing, I don't know, that they can transmit to get shit done that the rest of us can't. I don't know,
Maybe
it's
they
a
can-
secret handshake or a frequency or...
It's the rolled up sleeve thing.
that must be it.
Maybe they can
once,
conjugate verbs.
I once pitched to the Masons to build their website for them.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I had to get to Masons Hall in London, which is an amazing building. Absolutely amazing building.
Did you see Bill?
I didn't.
Oh.
Who's Bill?
Oh,
Bill
I hope he's well.
from Gravity Falls. He's the triangle
Oh,
with the eye.
Okay.
Oh,
No, I didn't.
right. So I think.
Anyway, Mike, continue.
No, that was kind of it. It's
Oh.
an amazing building. I didn't get the gig.
Did you not get the gig? Did you shake hands under your leg? Did you?
I
Did
told
you
them
get-
what they should do is
Get a bit
launch
of shrink.
security software like Norton Tools at the time. Because I said that, everybody is going to want to buy into the Masons online security system, aren't they? That's got to be
Hey,
a perfect branding opportunity.
it
But
is. It is.
they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, they thought it was going to be free, so that's why they had to get investors.
Yeah.
Because
I
of the Freemasons.
power to the people saying I know a lad who went to private school and he's a nice guy. Honestly, I've got friends quite a few friends who went to private school and they're sound. They're absolutely sound. I won't ever word against them. But the system is fucked. The system is absolutely fucked. And the pearl clutching of the last few months, now that they put VAT on school fees, has just been hilarious. It's just been and I think we've hit the zenith of that with this, with this story about this woman who earns 12 grand a year
12 grand.
and she sends her kid to private school. I mean, no.
It's funny. In my experience, the mates that I've got that went to private school, and they are pretty sound people, but they're the first ones to admit that it screwed them up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens as well, yeah.
I think once they've seen through the problem themselves, they turn out okay in the end. Basically, it's when you continue to believe that you're an elite after that.
But they are.
Then again,
they are. I mean,
well, that's why none of them are my friends, because they don't talk to me because they've got
Well, my challenge to anyone is go and have a look on Private School Mafia. Statistically, if they're 7% of the population, someone should be able to make a list 13 times longer than the Private School Mafia list of people in the public eye, or powerful people in the country who went to state school, and you can't. You literally, there's not enough names. There just aren't enough people.
You have to get creative.
There are not enough Wikipedia pages. How about that? There's not enough Wikipedia pages about people who went to state school in the UK compared with the people who didn't.
If I can just make a plea to any wiki editors, I don't have a Wikipedia entry. And I keep asking people to just start one. Just put one in there with my name and I can go and correct it. But you can't start one of your own.
Well, you can. It's just really hard getting a Wikipedia page. They wouldn't know it was you. Just use a VPN. You can sign in whatever name you want. But you've got to have loads and loads of what they call links to different stories about you in the press and
I've got some of them.
Credits for any of the TV shows you've worked on or animations that you've done and stuff like that. That I mean, you're on an Internet Movie Database.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll help.
I think I might be too.
Yeah. Are you on it for like lead animator, or are you on it for an extra role?
Producer.
A producer role. Fine. Have you got like a few credits?
Yeah, I've got credits.
Yeah.
I've got books, I've got credits, I've got articles. It's just, I mean, it's quite right. I think it's quite right. Wikipedia, I like the way Wikipedia is put together. It should be hard.
It should be hard. It absolutely, and people take the piss. They make their own page and then fill it with nonsense.
Musk has been gunning for Jimmy Wales on this week, hasn't he? Basically, but because he thinks community notes is better than Wikipedia, which is ridiculous.
Did you see that the community notes went after Patrick Bet-David?
Yeah,
and then Patrick Bet-David, he's an Iranian American citizen who used a pyramid scheme to make all this money, and now he uses his pyramid scheme to sell people into memberships for part of the pyramid. He's a scammer. He's just a scammer. But he's friends with Joe Rogan and all of them, and he has a podcast. It's pretty popular, and like everybody has to go on there and all that shit. So he was over there talking about how the community notes came up on his thing for something that he said on Twitter, and it was like, oh yeah, this guy had a MLM and it was a pyramid scheme, and he scammed people out of all this money. That's how he started his business. He's like, I just don't understand why. I mean, like, if you look at the comments under here, it is just, I mean, they're just these are the what do you say, the white nationals. I'm like, yeah, dingbat, that's the Republican Party, stupid. That's all of them, stupid. Like, how did you not put two and two together? Did you not learn math while you were scamming everybody?
Blue Badger 88 says, if you watch old British war movies and mimic the mannerisms a little, it works too. I went to a comp and I rarely failed to succeed in a network, either completely or majority. It also means messed accent. Now, I find myself modulating my accent when I'm amongst people who went to private school or, talk
You're
posh.
quite right, Blue Badger.
Yeah,
marvelous. We're doing marvelous work there, Blue Badger.
Or,
lovely.
On the other hand, if I'm
Trucks
trying to get a new window for my Fiesta and I need to go down the scrapyard and down the Dock Road in Liverpool, then I go very, very wacker then. Because I think if I turn up, sound all fucking posh, he's got to 180 quid for that. And it's just an old window for your Fiesta, mate. It's only, what are you going to, you're only going to throw it away.
Graham, that's a Pygmalion story, isn't it? A friend of mine's car had a flat tire just before Christmas. My dad used to work in the car trade years ago. And when I lived in Peterborough, and I spoke like that all the time. And I worked for him in this garage. And I said to her, I said, look, I could go in and try and talk garage, but I think they'll see through me instantly these days. But the irony is, that's how I used to actually talk. But they'll definitely see straight through me. So I said, you're better off going in on your own. I'll write down a couple of things, but just go and act like you don't know what a tire is.
I need some
pretty, and you'll probably get help straight away. Basically.
It says here that I need some blinker fluid You guys
Yeah,
have
exactly. But it was
No.
like it was totally Pygmalion. I don't fit into either culture anymore. It's like, I'm not actually posh, and I can't walk into a garage and pretend I know anything about
Oh
cars.
no!
if your nails aren't dirty, save it. They
Torn
don't
between
care.
two lovers, feeling like a fool. No, also in Liverpool, you got to tell a joke. You got to tell a joke as well, so they'll see through you if you're pretending to be Scouse. I reckon, because they'll be like, he hasn't told a joke. He's not from around here.
Is there a specific book of jokes, or do you have to go?
No,
in
you just have to make it up on the spot. But I get shit in Liverpool. I get where you're from in Liverpool, and I say I'm from Liverpool. I'm from West Derby, and they go, no, but where are you really from? And I'm like, I'm really. I was born in the same hospital as John Lennon.
Graham,
grew up here.
Graham, where are you really from? Okay,
I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know. I can't remember. I was very young when I was born.
Go back to where you were.
Go back to where you came from. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, some people think that I'm from over the water, or maybe from Ormskirk or something around the outskirts of Liverpool, the Ormskirk outskirts. But no, I'm proper Scouser, like. If I was a Londoner, I'd be the equivalent of being born within the sound of the Bow Bells. Or the Bow Bells. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm not from London.
Is it B-O-W or B-O-U-G-H?
B-O-W.
Bow.
We have Bow Street, and then we have the Bow Bells. Or is it the Bow Bells? I don't know.
It's the Bow. It's the Bow
Bells.
Bells. Yeah.
There you go. That's how you know that you're a proper Londoner.
When the bells go off,
London,
you're
innit?
supposed to bow.
Yes. The bow to the Bow Bells.
A bow.
Well, in Liverpool, we have
Ooh,
the
I could go for
liver
a fucking
birds.
bow
They're
right
not the
now.
liver birds. It's the liver birds, and you got to know that. Or you look a bit silly.
Some spicy pork bow right now.
Yeah.
Sounds fucking excellent.
We've also got a bit of Liverpool called Fazachely, which is the best word to say in a Scouse accent.
I used to have
It
a
rhymes
teacher
with-
called Fazakali.
You used to have
It
a what?
rhymes-
A badger?
My sociology teacher was called Mrs. Fazakali.
Mrs. Fazachely? It's from
Exactly.
Liverpool.
Fazakali.
Fazachely? Yeah.
I'm using
It's
that
up,
in a
up
rap.
by Aintree in North Liverpool. Got number 3. Thank you very much, Richard. Straight in there with a £10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. He's only just got here. Graham, a Zettelkasten network DB could easily be built in Python via hashtags. Very useful for mapping and networking purposes. I'm too fucked to do it myself, however. Open source, of course. Cool. I don't know what that means, but yes, thank you.
What language is
Python.
number 3 talking?
Python is code. It's
Python's
Well,
code.
no, I get that. But
Yes.
you do it via hashtags. Very useful for mapping and networking. Mapping and networking of what?
Networking, like, making friends. With money. Friends with money. A networking
okay.
event.
And mapping so that you can work out which part of Liverpool you come from.
Hello,
Using hashtags.
You get the people
totally get
who have got lots of money and no talent, and you put them in a room with people with no money but lots of talent, and then magic happens.
And you write an algorithm.
Yeah,
to
you
work
write an
out-
algorithm, and then
Grandma-
yeah,
Oh, sorry. You write an algorithm in.
and that's it. it all
as
works
far as
out
we
in the
got.
wash.
I would like
That's
to
our
offer
entire
you,
tech conversation.
The rich person
I like-
steals your idea.
I'd like to offer you a business proposal.
Yes.
I thought up a very good show name, and I think we better capitalize on it because it's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Wanks and Yanks.
Wanks and Yanks. I like it. Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
Is
in
this
terms
it's
of
just politics.
casting,
is
in
this
terms
going to
of
be on
casting
OnlyFans?
for this? I'm assuming
Hey,
you're the
if
Yanks.
if people get confused and they click on it expecting something else, and they just get two dudes talking about politics, I don't really know how to help them.
I've got to say, I absolutely love the fact that Scott's just fucked off. Scott just fucked off about 20
He's just
minutes
off
ago.
screen. I just saw him.
No, he's gone off to the shop. He's gone off to the shop to get something.
I just saw a record. I think.
No, he's back. He knows we're
Or
talking
he
about
has a
him.
hat like Kung Lao from Mortal Kombat.
He's like,
answer a call.
They'll never know I was away.
Answer a call. I'm afraid, sir.
Scott is my favorite person, and this is why. Because Scott's voice sounds like here, but his diction and his cadence are there. So it's very trippy for me because he's speaking American, but he's talking England, and it's very strange. Like when he says,
How would you
bollocks, I'm
describe
just like,
that? Does he sound like an Englishman trying to talk like an American, or an American talking like an Englishman?
It
Or
just it sounds like an American using the wrong slang. right? Like he sounds like he should be using my slang, but he's using their slang. I'm like, that's not what we say. Oh, you're not. You're not we. You're,
You're all a bunch of crafty buggers, aren't you?
And I was like, it just like he's British, but I just can't. It doesn't sound like if
I know. It's been here too long.
Or
Scott, can you say "core blimey, mate" in an American accent? It's perfect.
Or is that a joke from Rush Hour? Like when he was like he saw the Asian French people. He's like, "You're a disgrace to yourself." That is.
I was once told by a policeman that if you wanted to get let off in court, or if you ever get arrested, then you should, because policemen have to write down exactly what you say when they arrest you, and then read it out in court. So what he said was, if you say "Call blimey, Govey, you caught me red-handed, take me down the nick," basically, he said, if you say that, nobody will believe in court that's what you said when you were arrested.
This officer's lying.
This officer's just making this up. I don't know what on earth he's talking about.
This man hasn't done anything.
I thought you were going to say
that. Talking like that, sir.
I don't know why he said I said that. I do not talk like that.
I do not sound like Dick Van Dyke.
Blimey governor? I don't even know the governor. Like,
is Dick Van Dyke still with us, by the way? Can I ask? Is he still with us?
He is. Yeah. He was just on TV a couple of weeks ago.
I think 100 now or something.
He hasn't Dick Van Dyed.
It's doing videos with Coldplay. Did you not see the Coldplay video with him dancing in his bare feet?
No.
Depends how you take this, actually, but it's quite a sweet video. It's quite.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Dick Van Dyke because I know his British accent was horrendous, but it was cute for us. You know what I mean? That was the one thing we needed to know, that movie took place in another place.
And it was a fantasy movie. It was a kids movie. It was a musical. I have no problem with it. And still his British accent was way better than Tom Cruise's Irish accent in Far and Away. Oh God, what was that terrible Robin Hood movie? Robin Hood with Gladiator Man. No, Gladiator Man. Russell Crowe. His accent was fucking awful. And he walked out. He walked out in a minute of an interview. He was like, I don't have to put up with this shit. And he walked out.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
One of the worst British Americans doing a British accent in the movie was Keanu Reeves in Dracula. That was
Come on, man. First of all, Keanu is Nerd Jesus.
I know where the bastard lives.
I will not take blasphemy for Nerd Jesus. Horrible. Nerd Jesus has never done a bad movie. He's never said anything wrong. He's a great person.
The movie's great. He sounds like an idiot. He sounds silly.
No, he sounds perfect.
Like a British person.
He sounds perfect. It's
God bless you, Mary Poppins.
John Wicks.
Perfect John Wick. We've got a question. I want to know if is Sfax in tonight. Do you know what Sfax did in our last show?
I haven't sent a fax in years.
No, Sfax from Ukraine gifted 50 memberships to our people. So we've got 50 new members of the gang.
Did I get one?
No, because you had to be watching. You had to be watching at the time.
I thought
to be included in the 53 membership. So it's Sfax. If you're watching, mate, thank you so much. Polarization, thoughts on the new Italy-Turkey land border? Thank you very much to Polarization for that.
I've been there. Graham, you visited every country.
I know what you're talking about.
when you cross the border
from a fucking idiot.
When you crossed the border from Italy to Turkey, Graham, how did you navigate the wall?
I went to the city of Bari, and it was an absolute ball ache getting there because it was a Sunday. I had to make my way from Malta in the morning, and I went across Sicily and got into Italy, and it was on a combination of buses and trains and taxis, and it was all meticulously planned, and nothing could be late. And I got to Bari within with literally 1 hour. 1 hour I had to get from the bus station to the port, and I ended up running from the bus station to the port because there were no taxis in the city of Bari in Italy. Not a single taxi. You couldn't find a taxi. There was no Uber. There was nothing. And I was like, how the hell does anyone get around? And it was raining, and I was running with my backpack, and I managed to get to the and the ship was still there, but they'd closed the entrance to it, and I had the ticket and everything. So what I had to do was I had to climb over this big fuck off wall to get into Turkey.
But it's a ridiculous thing that they make you get on
True
a boat
story.
and pretend to go across the ocean to get to Turkey.
Oh no, the boat just goes out in the water, comes back,
yeah.
and then you're on the other side of the wall.
But the thing is, without Suella, informing us about this kind of geography, many stupid people might believe that there is actually a land passage from Italy to Turkey.
Hey, as much as
so, Mikey, did you hear about this? She was on the radio this week covering for our, favorite radio talk show guy, James O'Brien. I don't know why LBC do that. I mean, they just do it to troll him.
They put Jeremy Hunt on today.
Was it Jeremy Hunt again?
Fucking hell, yeah.
I think they do it just to troll James.
Doesn't James understand that?
Should Elon Musk help England bring down their taxes?
Oh, really?
That's a great framing of the topic right there.
Fucking horrible subject.
But I think it is a way of punishing James O'Brien, because I do listen to his show probably 3 times a week. Because I'm up really, really, really early with the baby. It's probably a way of quit taking vacations, dick.
Yeah.
Like, we need you on the air, and when you're not on the air, we're gonna make you suffer.
It's part of contract negotiations as well, I think, to be honest. I think what they do is say, we would very happily replace you, James, with a right-wing voice after Nick Ferrari.
What happened to my girl? I forgot her name now. What happened to homegirl who went after the Israeli guy who was lying on the interview, and she called him out on it, and then Sangeeta, and then she's gone.
Sangeeta,
yeah, she's just gone the next weekend.
Fired. Instantly fired.
She's actually a friend of our gang, by the way, and she can't talk. Suspended. She can't talk about. I don't even think we're allowed to talk about the fact that she can't talk about it.
Which is so like I don't live in the UK, so they can try to prosecute me all day.
We've already established that you'll just end up in prison at that point.
And the thing is,
with no
they
health
can't
care.
sue me. They can't sue me. I ain't got shit to take.
Yeah, but it does seem a bit weird, Mike. Like they always seem to replace James O'Brien with very, very right wing rabid lunatics who should be on GB News.
This week they had Emily Thornberry on there. On Wednesday.
Oh, did they have Emily? Okay.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, they had Emily Thornberry. I think what they do is they do 3 days of like left leaning politicians, and they do a couple of days of right leaning politicians.
I mean, I suppose to be fair, it's difficult to replace James.
Yeah, there's that other guy who was the
I can do it.
Oh, I can't remember his name. Another Labour MP was on there, but I don't know who was on there on Monday. But yeah, like there was another Labour MP or a former Labour MP. I can't remember his name. And then Emily Thornberry was on.
Was it Jonathan Ashcroft or something like that?
Wayne is in the chat. Wayne is in the chat. He's saying James does have a say on his holiday cover. Dropped right off when Katie Hopkins was going to do a week on his Christmas cover. That was a few years ago, and he threatened to walk from the station, and they said, "Oh no." So he does have a say on it. And I think maybe he looks at the situation and goes, well, when these people are on, the ratings are going to fall through the floor. And it just makes me look better, doesn't it?
Secures my contract for next year.
Yeah.
Plus, Suella's...
Janeway wants to know, if they put right-wingers on when James is away, does Hitler take over from Nick Ferrari? It's a very good point, Janeway.
No, Jeremy Corbyn takes over from Nick Ferrari when he's on holiday. Jeremy Corbyn comes on.
Can you imagine a Jeremy Corbyn 3-hour call-in show?
So 3-hour morning drive-in.
Oh God!
I didn't know much. I didn't know much about Suella Braverman until I saw her
3-hour drive-in.
I didn't know much about Braverman until I saw her take over for James, and then I saw her do some other thing, and then I watched her do this protest thing where she walked around the protesters, and she was trying to like strike up a conversation with people who were protesting, and they all just went.
They just ignored her and walked away.
Yeah, because they can't. No one can stand her. No one likes her. No one likes her.
Like I'm what do you say? Like 7,000 miles away from y'all right now.
Y'all know that.
I could hear the eye rolls.
Yeah.
Out my window, not through the phone. I could hear people rolling their eyes. They're like, bitch, if y'all get your little stupid ass, like, and she's out there with a big camera, and they probably got the bag over it because it was raining.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, she's very
here trying to
pray.
Like,
that's the
get out of here.
Wayne is saying that some of them just make fools of themselves, and it's great clickbait, and he's right.
I mean, say it's clickbait.
Yeah, they do get a lot of clickbait.
They get Piers Morgan on there.
Although Wayne being Wayne, he's actually called it clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. I mean, yeah, that
that's a typo because Wayne is multitasking at the moment on OnlyFans.
Wayne.
Is he appearing on OnlyFans, or is he a punter?
That's actually that's his username for his channel on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Jim Bob Bobob is asking, how does Barry in Italy have a border with Turkey, Graham? It doesn't. But Suella Braverman was on the radio this week, and she said that there was a border between Italy and Turkey, which is hundreds of miles away from each other. They're separated by at least one sea, arguably two. And
she said she visited the wall that they were building there.
Yeah, she visited the wall between Italy and Turkey.
To be honest, who hasn't visited that wall?
Anyone, because it doesn't exist. But yeah,
who hasn't?
There's not much. There's not much going on. But the thing is, what Angry Pagan said, I've never had a problem with geography. I really don't get why people find it difficult. Well, I do. I understand why some people just find it difficult to arrange where all the countries are in their heads and fix them in place. But that's fine for most people, especially if you're not going to a place. But when you're actually going to try and make a political point about countries and their reactions to immigration or to asylum seekers, you've got to get it right. I mean, she was a government minister, for Christ's sake. She was a Secretary of State for...
She was nearly the leader of the party.
Yeah. in a horrible parallel universe, she could have been our prime minister.
And to be fair, Trump thinks asylum seekers are people in insane asylums in other countries looking for asylum in America.
He doesn't understand what asylum means.
That's why he keeps going on about Hannibal Lecter. That's why he keeps going on about Hannibal Lecter.
Multiple meanings for words. He's real dumb.
Understand what asylum means. He thinks that all the asylum seekers are just nutcases.
They all hear voices.
I saw a clip of a speech he made today where he was genuinely asking the question, why do Americans pay so much for drugs when in countries like England they're much cheaper for patients? And you go, it's because we've got a fucking health service, basically.
Josh has just shared a clip from Mark, a tweet from Mark Steele, which says, the Berlin Wall has kept Mexicans out of Nottingham since 1943. I know because I saw it when I was in Woolworths this morning. Yes, exactly that.
To be fair, with that wall in place, the Mexicans were not going there.
No.
Because they don't live there. But it is also true that they don't go there.
Yeah. God, I just shudder at the fact that all the stories we've been talking about today, Elon Musk has been interfering in them somehow, either backing up Kemi Badenoch about the grooming gangs, which is just utter bullshit, or putting stuff about illegal asylum seekers, which is no such thing.
Just to go to the picture that you put up at the beginning, the Cybertruck attack in LA.
Yeah.
Which is a couple of things that I do want to point out.
Las Vegas.
I did Vegas. Yeah. I did a cartoon today that I didn't publish because I thought it was probably in bad taste. But I wanted to find out what the truck was in the attack in New Orleans.
F-150.
Right, because all the news stories called it a Cybertruck blows up in front of a Trump hotel. That was the headline for almost every story in Vegas. And in New Orleans, I literally had to dig and dig and dig. And in the end, I found it in an FBI report as to what kind of truck it was. It wasn't in any of the other. And it just struck me as really interesting that everybody was happy to name the Tesla. And I get it because it's an iconic image of a Tesla burning in front of a Trump hotel. Totally get that. It is the story.
Album
the fact that they didn't call it just a pickup. the balance of news.
But it wasn't just a pickup though, because
I get that.
Difference.
But it was a Ford F-150. Quiz for you, Graham. What's the most popular vehicle sold last year?
Ford F-150.
How about the year before that?
Ford F-150.
How about the year before that?
Toyota.
Every year since the Ford F-150 has come out, it has been the most popular vehicle on the planet.
So here's my question. Do they not call it Ford F-150 at all in the? Forget the headline, but it's not even mentioned in any of the articles.
Yeah, they just called it an electric pickup.
Is it because of advertising?
No. Because people do stuff in cars all the time, and they don't just hide the, like, some things have been said it was a Ford Explorer or it was a this, that, like, I just don't think they said it. Maybe they didn't know. I don't know.
Was it an electric truck?
It's a hybrid.
It was a hybrid truck, and it's a Ford F50. We don't have these in the UK, but we have lots of them in Boca del Toro. They're all the taxis, because there's two roads you see in Boca del Toro. And it takes a whole 5 minutes to walk from one end to the other. So we need like 17 taxis just constantly going around in a loop. And they're all Ford 150s. And they're ridiculous because they've got a big empty tray at the back of them, which we use like now and again, you know, if you've got something big to carry. But most of the time, you're squeezed into the back and you're in this little tiny space and your knees are up against the back of the
bed. Just ride in the bed.
This may surprise you to know as well, Mikey, but pickup trucks in this country, they're not really a thing.
Yeah, you guys don't do any work. You have no work to do. That's why you don't have pickup trucks.
No, I have seen enough clean tray wankers in America to know that most people who own a Ford F-150 do not do any manual labor whatsoever.
They're not putting bales of hay in the back.
No, they're not putting anything in the back. It's just there as a status symbol.
Our equivalent is the mums that do the school run in a Land Rover.
Yeah.
That's the our equivalent.
Well, most cars now are too big for the road here anyway.
Yeah, the roads are too small.
The roads are way too small in this country. But also,
no, the cars are too big. We haven't grown.
Arguably, too many roads still, and not enough public transport. But okay.
Yeah. So we had a super chat ages ago from Ivan Ambrose. Next question is, when will Braverman go to reform? I think in this year, my money is on Braverman going to reform.
I'll go next year.
Next question from Wayne. Did you see Elon's tweet stating that the Cybertruck is the best truck for a car bomb for safety because it's strong and it retains most of the blast?
What was it? He said he picked the wrong truck. Basically, he turned it into an advertising opportunity.
Here's what I hope happens from all this Cybertruck, electric
the guy
vehicle,
in the truck.
Electric vehicle madness. I hope they finally put limiters on those things. You cannot have a 7,000-pound SUV 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's not fucking safe.
Yeah,
because it is a literal battering ram. With the height of the grill and everything, it is made for mowing down people. Heaven forbid somebody hack all the self-driving Cybertrucks and just blows up the whole earth by ramming it to pieces.
It might also surprise you to know that you can't buy them here or in Europe.
Guys,
they're illegal weapons.
Power to the people. Just put all caps. Pick up wanker. And I picked up my phone to think, because I thought he was trying to call me. But he was actually saying pick up wanker, like bus stop wanker. Oh my God. All right, thanks, Power to the Beat. I was like, how does he have me number?
That says more about your opinion of yourself, Graham.
Pick up wanker. Oh, sorry. Hello.
I can't hear it ringing. Is it ringing? Is it doing it?
It's on silent. I can't hear someone's calling me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was on vibrate. I'm sorry.
Vendetta wants to say stop electing morons, and it took Vendetta 6 attempts to get that message out there. So thanks for that. I
appreciate it.
It could have been stop electing, morons. Stop electing people, dickheads.
Stop erecting Mormons.
Yeah, Mormons. And SUVs are unsafe for everyone outside the vehicle anyway, says Jup James. Yep, I think they should be outlawed. They were only created in the first place to get around emissions laws in America in certain states that said, hey, you can only have so much emissions if you've got a car, but you can have more if you're a truck. And they went, can we have something in between? We'll call it, I don't know, fucking WB4. And they're like, yeah, whatever you want to call it. Just as long as it's not really a car and it's not really a truck. Yeah.
As an SUV owner and driver, who lives somewhere with weather.
Yeah.
Gun owner.
And a gun owner.
Absolutely.
Typical American.
You need to. Well, my SUV gets 32 on the highway, which is very good for an SUV.
Hey, Graham, here's the thing.
32 miles an hour.
How is
That's
he
really
supposed
slow.
to carry all the guns?
Yeah, he needs something to put all the guns in.
It's just practical.
It's typical American. It only goes 32 miles an hour, though, so, you know.
You can't do the school run in Chicago without a truck full of guns and ammunition.
Well, yeah.
Basically.
I mean, everyone would laugh at you. They'll laugh at you if you tried to put them in the back of a Fiesta.
Well, when Nigel Farage is your PM, you guys will have SUVs and guns too. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Because those SUVs, like, seriously, if an SUV runs into you, you're dead. That's it. It's all over.
It will make fox hunting a lot more interesting if we can do it in SUVs with machine guns.
Yeah.
Poor foxes.
I'll still prefer to do tough hunting. But Labour are outlawing trail hunting. You know,
trail hunting, yeah.
Yeah, so what the idea was, as a little sop to the Countryside Alliance, we said, look, you know, we can bait a trail through the jungle and you can ride on your hippopotamuses or whatever the fuck it is you do, you mad posh bastards. You just can't kill any
I think the original law was you could send a scouser out into the woods.
Yeah, and then hunt him down.
With a can of lynx, basically, and then hunt him down with dogs. That was the...
So, anyway, don't give away... Did you read my plot synopsis for Boxing Day?
Oh, sorry. I did notice that.
Yeah,
that's
so...
probably where I just got that one
Don't give away the twist. Don't give away... That would be such a great movie. Because all the way through, you'll think that the hunters were all the toffs were all, had the upper hand, but then it turns out. Anyway, moving on.
How much snow do you guys get every year?
We're about to get about 15 feet of pure white snow.
15 feet.
15 feet of pure white snow.
Can I get an answer from somebody who isn't a flaming liar? Scott, how much snow do you expect this year?
Not much.
Not that
Please
much.
put
do you guys
down that telephone. We are under 15 feet of pure white snow.
Do you even have to clean your cars off? Like, do you get that much snow where you have to scrape?
We have to get ourselves off, mate. That's what we are. That's how bad it is.
Enough. I need answers so I can ask my next question. Stop being a dick.
That's Stop being a dick. Oh,
Mikey,
you got the pet.
How?
I'll try and be the voice of reason here, Mikey. Very rarely do we have snow. I mean, certainly down south.
Down south it's positively tropical, but up here in the north it gets proper parky, proper cold, right? You know, cold enough to freeze the bollocks off a brass monkey.
Yeah, I need you to not use alliteration, and I need you to use.
Mikey, is that all right?
I will, Mikey. It's going to snow here tomorrow night. I will get some photos of it on Sunday morning, and I'll send it to you, and you'll shit yourself.
No, I'll just go on the internet and find the truth. I'll just look up your weather report. I mean, I just hoped you would tell me quickly so I could have the answer.
Scott's going to tell you the truth.
If you drove anywhere that had regular snow,
hang on, all your roads are highways. What are you talking about? You don't have like windy country roads. Okay. They're all like fucking straight lines, boring ass straight lines everywhere.
Okay, so
but snow falls on them.
You're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in places like Chicago, Cleveland, Indiana, all of the Great Lakes, the snow really comes down, right? It doesn't get like that in England at all. It's very, very rare.
Maybe where you are, Scott. Have you ever come up north? Have you been stuck in London the whole time? Come on, get out. Come see some snow.
It's not even forecasting snow in Durham.
You can tell me, Scott.
Touch some snow. Come north and touch some snow with us.
Snow's there. It does not feel like that here. So
that's what I'm saying.
And when it does, oh my God, it hits the front page of every fucking paper. It's on every news report, and everything is shut.
5 centimeters of snow.
Trains can't fly.
What's a big?
Trains can't fly. Yeah.
What's a big snow over there? Like,
a big snow over here is 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah, we're not even doing anything different with our day.
No,
No,
It's
Scott.
right.
like
No,
Exactly.
Scott.
7 to 8
Scott.
inches.
Scott. He said snow, not what you heard. 3 or 4 inches. It's not big in any country.
Listen, leave my 3 or 4 inches alone. The
So you're
here,
Florida.
so
So
3 or
they're
4 inches
Florida.
of snow here, it's an entire country shutdown.
Yeah.
So they're Florida.
Whereas in America, it's 10 inches of snow before
Yeah, we don't care about 3 inches of snow.
Yeah,
Like I'm
they're
not even
not
cleaning
used
that
to-
shit off
right,
my
Mikey.
car. I'm just gonna use the
Mikey.
wipers and
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
get down the road.
Mikey,
Yeah.
the infrastructure is not built for that here because it is more of a new phenomenon in the recent decades, whereas before it never really.
No, Scott. No, that's genuinely not true. My
Yeah.
childhood, we genuinely had a lot worse snows than
In
we
my
get now,
day.
because it's warmer now. Back in my day,
Well, that's
we
why.
had-
Unless we're fields covered in 15 feet of snow.
yeah, I mean,
15 feet.
apparently there is a cycle of about every 40 or 50 years where we do get heavy snow. But
Yeah.
this
They
the
call it the
problem with the
Mike Dix
infrastructure in
phenomenon.
this country is almost all of it is like denies the existence of rain, snow, and ice.
So do you guys
We
have
think-
plows?
We literally think we live in a tropical country where it
Do you
never
have
rains.
plows?
No, we don't. We don't have snow plows. We
Okay,
really
so
don't.
let me explain something to you.
On the trains we do. We have.
No, I'm still going to explain.
on the
Whether you're
roads
talking over me or
in
any way.
Scotland they have plows and they all
So
have
if
funny
the
names.
plow does
no,
not
that's
go
British.
down your street and you don't
Yeah.
have an SUV, you're not going to work until.
Although we
the
have
plow,
salt, we have salt here.
Salt doesn't work
Yeah,
when it gets cold,
the
Graham. You
council
would know
here.
nothing about no cold because it gets so
Local-
cold here that salt doesn't work.
All right, so the local governments here though will salt in advance. They're really good about that. You
But
see
you
a
guys
lot
aren't
more
getting big
salt on the
snow.
road than you do actual snow. So yeah, so it does work in that sense. But
And you guys' salt probably
they
comes
don't.
from.
You know,
Lake
there's like
Michigan.
snow plows in where you live. Snow plows, they don't really have that here. They don't have those sort of snow.
So
plows.
so they don't have like the big dump trucks with the
No.
14, 15
No.
foot blade on the
We
front.
don't need that kind of thing.
Chunk,
We just got
chunk.
salt. We just go out and sprinkle a bit of salt on the ground, and
just
that gets
sprinkle a
rid
bit
of
of
all the
salt.
snow.
That's all they
Yeah.
really need to do. It's all they really need to do because the snow is not. You will deal with 15 inches of snow on one nightfall, right? That does not happen here. It is.
I think the worst I've ever had was like the Super Bowl blizzard. I think it was like 2012, and we got 22 inches overnight.
yeah.
Like we
It's-
got snowed in, and they warned everybody, buy your food and all that stuff, and just sit tight. We'll dig you out in the morning.
Yeah.
And we sat there, and then by the time like there was like my front door of my apartment, you couldn't get the screen door open. Like we were like straight up traffic, like you could not get out because there was so much snow there.
But
Yeah.
Mikey, we do have snow plows in Scotland because they need it there. Like
Yeah,
they don't
exactly.
need them down in London. That's what everyone's point is trying to
Yeah.
make. Like in this country, it's a bit like saying, "Oh, well, you don't have snow in Texas, so what? Why do you have like? I know it's not as big as America.
They do
but-
now, don't they?
Yeah, well, yeah.
They got, but then again with them, like they got 3 snowflakes. The entire electrical grid.
Yeah, because
shut
it's not set
down.
up for it. It's the
Yeah.
same here in the south. It's not set up
Also-
for it. But
Also,
in
terms of
Scotland, it is. for
extreme
instance.
weather, Mikey. This is why we gave America back to you lot. We just
Yeah,
kind of
didn't want it. Just
We
a
don't
few
want
it.
acres
Oh,
of snow. That's what Voltaire
As
said
Shit
about it.
weather,
As
hurricanes.
punish-
Don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, when President Elon gets in there, any
Uh-huh.
Brits found besmirching this great land will be moved straight to Tornado Alley with me in the Midwest.
Will they be smushed in the tornado?
Smushed.
Well, you'll just have to thoughts and prayers.
Well, listen, Mikey. We have a
can I
message
just-
from Darian.
Motion in a tornado.
We have a very important message from Darian saying that we have woke salt in the UK, Mikey.
We do.
There you go.
We do.
Yeah, not just salt. We have woke salt
Again,
for some
like
reason.
I don't know if you guys knew this. There is a huge salt mine in Chicago underneath Lake Michigan. It's like 500 meters below ground under the lake. That's where most of the sodium calcide, the sodium calcium joint, not the sodium chloride, like your table salt, the hard stuff.
Okay.
A lot of it comes from the Great Lakes, and a lot of it comes from down the road from me. And I had no idea about that shit until last year. I was like, you've been digging under the lake this whole time and blowing shit up, aren't you? They're not afraid of nothing.
No,
So
they need the salt. Anyway, thanks very much for that. By the way, we were talking about fox hunting. I don't know how we got onto snow, but what I'm paying is bringing us back onto fox hunting by saying down here in the real south of England, we aren't, or Anglo-Londy, we aren't expecting any snow really. Could come down to the south of Dartmoor, but the Anslick Riviera really gets snow. Good on Labour on the trail hunting. Badgers next. I mean, I think that I'm not going to make friends here with one angry pagan, but I think that Cornwall and Devon are basically climately. That's not a word, is it? Climatically. Yeah,
I
maybe.
made that up too.
Okay,
but that might be real.
Okay, climatically, I think that Devon and Cornwall are basically friends.
I think climatically is another phrase for Wank and Yanks channel.
The Wanks and Yanks, baby.
Wanks and Yanks.
And climatically, just at the end, we do the...
Just imagine the T-shirts, dude.
What, climatically?
And we'll put that on the back.
I'm meeting a climatically... trail hunting. So, Mikey, we're talking about trail hunting. So, years ago, there was fox hunting, where these toffs would go out with their dogs.
I saw Fox and a Hound.
Okay, so they would go out and they would rip these beautiful, innocent, wild animals apart with dogs because they got off on it. Yeah.
So cute.
And they said they were a pest and this is the best way of dealing with pests. And people pointed out, well, you know, if I get mice in my house, the first thing I do isn't ring up a bunch of posh people to ride horses around my house and blow horns. Anyway, so that was outlawed by the previous Tory Labour government back in the early 2000s. And there's a big uproar in the countryside about, it's our way of life. You're taking away our way of life. And all these people are going to lose their jobs because of this.
Racist.
Right, yeah. And to placate them somewhat, this idea of doing baiting a trail. So the dogs would chase the trail and you'll go after the dogs on the horses. You won't know where you're going to go. You might get hit on the head by a branch and die. Yay. But generally speaking, the fox didn't die. That was the idea, Mikey. The fox wouldn't die. You wouldn't go and get a bunch of dogs to rip apart a fox.
So what's the point?
Because you get to ride the horse, because you don't know where the dogs are going to go. Like the trail is baited by someone, the dogs run off, and then you follow the dogs. It's really exciting because you get to follow the dogs. You don't know where they're going to go. And then you get to the end of it and you go to the pub or something. I don't know. Anyway, what was happening was that during these trail hunts, so many foxes were getting killed because the dogs would find a fox and then kill it. And they go, accidentally. Oh, shit, accidentally. We killed it. And literally thousands of foxes were torn apart by dogs as a result of them going, we didn't expect that to happen, but it did, so who cares? And this
wouldn't be a... Sorry, go on.
The government's decided to clamp down on it now and say, right, you can't even do trail hunting now. And they're all up in arms again, obviously. It's always are.
I have a stupid question. Why don't you just make it illegal to hunt foxes?
It is. It is illegal to hunt foxes, but they're saying it happens accidentally. Yeah, that's not to hunt the fox.
Oh, officer, I accidentally went 130 miles an hour. Go to jail. Yeah. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I don't understand what the...
Well, essentially, this is what they've done now because they've said, look, this law is getting broken so often that we can't continue giving you the benefit of the doubt. So the toffs who have broken the law have led to a change in the law, which is going to say you can't even do trail hunting now because it's barbaric. I mean, even in America, you love killing wild animals, innocent wild animals that don't need to be dead. Do you tear any of them apart with dogs, or do you shoot them with a?
No, they just shoot them with sawed-off shotguns.
I'm not answering your loaded question.
They shoot their dogs. They shoot their dogs and eat them.
They shoot their dogs.
Yeah, they do shoot their dogs. Yeah. Well, dogs can be annoying.
That's just cops. Thank you very much. Not everybody.
What they should do with fox hunting, really, because the dogs only exist because they've been bred to chase foxes. Yeah. So why don't they just dress one of the dogs as a fox and send it out?
Just paint it.
And then let the dogs tear that apart until all the dogs are gone. I mean, it's a controversial view. There are many dog lovers out there that won't like this story,
or one of them could get off the horse, put on a fox suit, and then they could be the fox.
I think that's a good
idea.
And
then they can take turns. But then when the dog catches...
I think there's one voice that hasn't been included in this debate. So what I want to know is, what does the fox say?
What the fox?
I hate this. Pull over. I want to get off.
What the fox?
I'm just saying, some guy
You
could
guys
dress up
don't know
like
the
that
song.
guy.
You don't
Some
understand
guy-
the song.
Somebody could dress up like the guy from the music video and prance around through the forest, and then his mates can get on horses and chase him around with dogs. What's the problem? And then when the dogs find the guy in the fox suit,
Well,
they might chew him up a little bit, but they won't kill him.
The major problem
The
is
foxes
that
are saved.
man of the people, Nigel Farage, is on the side of the fox hunters.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
How about, in my humble American opinion, why don't you just arm the foxes?
Hang on, you just had an oxymoron. You said
the
humble
foxes.
American.
The problem,
Have you met one?
You're looking at one.
A
The
humble
most-
American.
The most humble. Right
Okay,
here.
I'm going to
problem-
write a book called
the
The Humble
problem
American.
is the problem is not that there are too many guns. It's just that there are not guns in the hands of the foxes. That's the
go.
problem.
Get the
Or
foxes some
maybe
guns.
give the foxes venom. Give them like a
Yeah.
stinger from a scorpion or something. So the little fluffy tail has a barb in there that can poison. Make it dangerous for them, and then foxes give them a chance.
This could be the perfect Green Party left wing grift. We could set up a fox training center
Yeah.
to teach foxes self defense,
Or how to hide better. Maybe get rid of the orange coat.
traps,
It's too bright.
guns.
Go for
Ewoks.
green and brown.
Essentially, we
Get 'em
turn
some
them
vests.
into Ewoks. We
Yeah, get 'em some
foxes
leather
to
vests.
chop down trees and swing them at the fox hunters.
And they can
It's absolutely perfect.
And Arctic Bear's got a good idea. Nigel Frogface could put on a fox suit,
Oh.
chase him through
Someone-
the forest.
Someone
See-
should put
see,
on
the
a
plot-
fox suit and run around.
The plot of your movie, Graham, needs to be that
Yeah.
Farage is kidnapped. Right? We dress him as a fox, but not
Who's
like
we?
a onesie. When I say we, the protagonist.
I'm just trying to
dresses-
stay out of lawsuits.
Yeah, me too. man. Yeah, but
They-
we literally stick hair on Farage, so he looks and smells exactly like a fox, and then he wakes up in a wood on a Sunday morning in January with the sound of horns and baying dogs.
Oh, that would be so
Perfect.
sad.
Perfect shot as we
I-
zoom into his froggy eyes.
I want to do a quick segue. I don't know how long I've got you guys tonight, but I want to do a quick segue because you mentioned the Green Party, and I saw an interview with, I want to say it was Ollie Dugmore, but I don't think it was. It was an interview with someone, and they were talking, I think it was one of the guys from the news agent, so maybe Lewis Thingy.
It was on.
Goodall,
It was
is
on Politics Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he said about like why they don't cover the Green Party, and he made a very good point. He said, "Well, do something interesting, and we'll cover it."
Yeah.
And this is what the
Yeah.
Lib Dems did
Yeah.
in the last election. Like, what the fuck is his name? Ed Davey knew that he couldn't get anyone to do a story about their policies, so he made a tit of himself going on roller coasters and bouncy castles and they're falling off a board in Lake Windermere and stuff. And that got the attention of the media. And I see this as well. Like, people go, why aren't they paying attention to me and my issues? And it's like, well, what are you doing to publicize it? Well, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about what what needs to be done. And I think we're guilty of this as well. And it's like, but are you being entertaining at the same time?
The number of people
deliberately
on the
not
doorstep around
entertaining.
it, because we have a Green MP in Brighton, and the number of people on the doorstep during the election that said to me they wanted a Labour government, but they were going to vote Green so that the Greens could hold Labour to account. And in the end, I was a liability on the doorstep because I just said to him, well, good fucking luck, because Nigel Farage is going to be in Parliament and sitting next to the Greens. And I guarantee you the
All the
Greens will get
oxygen.
absolutely no coverage.
Yeah.
The only way they'll get any coverage is to say something more racist than Nigel Farage.
I
It's the
have a
only way they're gonna do it.
solution. I have a solution for your fox problem.
Oh, okay, Mikey, do it.
I graduated from Bolingbrook High School, and Bolingbrook had a bunny problem. So they fucking put foxes in the town. Like, they went and got foxes from somewhere else and brought them into the town to deal with the bunnies, because we had a lot of bunnies and a lot of new houses, and they're eating up everybody's flowers and stuff. So then the foxes weren't working, so they got coyotes.
Yeah.
And I'm
To
like,
get
so
the foxes.
So I'm like, so if the coyotes don't work, are you gonna get like what? Pumas? You gonna get
Yeah.
mountain lions?
Yeah.
Bears.
Bears, mate.
See?
Top of the food chain.
So I think what
Can't
you guys
outrun a
need,
bear.
I think what you guys need is some of our North American mountain lions,
Yeah.
and that will deal with the foxes, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Do you
And then
know
the people don't have to hunt them.
If a bear chases you, you are fucked. They can run faster than you. They can climb trees. They can swim. There is no, unless you can get into a vehicle and drive away really quickly, but they can just smash the window. You are
No, picnic basket. No, Graham,
People don't really understand how big bears are.
What you have to do is throw your picnic basket behind you.
Yeah.
And they just, you know.
And then they'll go for the picnic basket.
Can I save somebody in the audience's life potentially? If you get attacked by a bear, blind it and run like hell. You need to blind it and run.
How'd you blind it? Like pick up some soil and throw it.
You have to have thumbs.
You have to get super close to the bear.
A bit close to do that, yeah.
I'm about to say, if it's got you already, you blind it with your thumbs, you put it in right here, and you scoop, and the eyeball will pop out, and then you can run away.
Bit too graphic there.
The thing I like about Mikey is you almost feel like he's done this.
Yes.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
You just know that it works.
There's a confidence in the way you describe this.
Hey, Mikey's ready for everything.
The exact amount of pressure you need to apply to a bear's eye.
And make sure you go inward, into the skull. Don't just go at the surface of it. You don't want to pop the eye, because the eye will pop. You want to go under the eye and scoop it out of its occipital lobe.
Yeah. Okay. TMI, but thanks for that.
Occipital socket, sorry.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Not the lobe. That's down here. There's the socket.
What can we do, just to go back to the Green conversation, what can we do to get more people to listen to what we've got to say? And someone posted on, and they might be watching now, hi if you are, on Blue Sky the other day, that the right wing, you know, they always get covered in the news and everything, more than anything that we ever get to say, and basically how unfair it is. And I was like, well, you know, I think our side could do with doing more interesting things to get the attention of the media. And doing more stunts, doing more crazy shit.
Yeah, but isn't this exactly the Extinction Rebellion argument? That we don't seem to win it. The farmers can all roll into London and hold up traffic and do whatever they do. And it's never reported in the same way as Extinction Rebellion, having a perfectly legal march or whatever, basically, or a protest.
Yeah.
If the left do these things, then we're just painted as, you know, like you said earlier, champagne socialists or activists or whatever. I don't see it.
But it's like we don't try. It's like we don't try, especially Labour. I mean, they don't even defend themselves. It's painful watching someone getting punched time and time again.
I think that's
when you know they're a heavyweight and they could just take that person who's punching them out with one perfectly timed right hook. And they don't do it. They just lie there getting beaten, and you're like, just defend yourself for Christ's sake. Please cover your face.
This is the other thing Lewis Goodall was talking about in that interview, wasn't it? Which was about the language, the political language that we use, and the fact that all of these Labour politicians have come in, and from Keir downwards, they just go into robot politician answer mode for everything.
Yeah,
and also, you know, Keir's got to take some responsibility for that, because
even Angela Rayner.
It hasn't put people on the, you know, Angela Rayner, he can't stop being on the front bench, but even she's been sort of reined in a bit.
Yes, yeah. Rayner,
but he's not putting people on the front bench.
See what I did there?
Those natural communicators that talk like the voters do. You know, these politician answers are just shit, and they're not even worth going on the telly. When they just come in and say, well, it's a complicated thing that we all need to do, and we've all got to knuckle together to pull it our weight. And
is this the turning of the paradigm where the normal everyday man can now run for office, let's say in like the next 10 years or so? Like where normal people can start running for council seats, MPs, or for Congress, like around here, because the whole thing about, oh, I got so many skeletons in my closet. I don't want everybody to know. Well, look at what the current landscape is. And it's way worse than anything any normal person would have in their closet, because I'm not Hunter Biden, right? Yeah. Like I'm not RFK
that's been the story
with a brain worm. You know, like
that's
I don't
entirely my story. And I bet it's Graham's as well, maybe Scott's. I don't know. It like I have never felt that I was good enough to stand. All right, and now I look at the caliber of people that end up bloody running countries, and you think, well, hang on, I could definitely be a councillor at least.
Absolutely,
I could do that.
Yeah,
and so maybe it's a good thing that it goes that way, as long as we all stand up and do it. If we just sit there and ignore the fact that Reform are sucking in these people that can, you know, talk pub talk, then we're going to lose because we won't be getting the right people in there. But
Captain,
we've definitely got to be able to just talk like we do in this room about politics.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I was
without the cock jokes, maybe.
No, definitely
leave
bringing the cock jokes
leave the cursing in.
Yeah, exactly. But we were talking about this, me and Phil, on the agenda this afternoon.
That's a Christmas tree.
Yes.
That's not Phil.
And
you said me and Phil.
Mikey, don't tell him. He's
it is a Christmas tree.
That's
been telling me what to do for the last couple of weeks.
We haven't dared tell him that Phil's left him.
Oh, I mean, hi Phil.
He's still
been
here.
Doing live shows with Phil every morning.
Just been talking to myself. It's Tyler Durden. Anyway, Janeway says, Captain Janeway says it's why Captain Labour punched down on trans people. They're too scared to have a proper fight with the right, which I totally agree with. They need to get off the arse and have a fight. But what I was talking to Phil about this afternoon is that Labour politicians such as Starmer are really good at podcasts. Like, Starmer's only had one long-form interview that I've listened to. I mean, there might be more. I don't know. But there was one that he did with James O'Brien, and he came across brilliantly. Every time that fucker makes a speech, he looks like he's got a stick up his arse. He looks nervous. His nervousness makes me nervous because I'm looking at this guy who looks like he's a fucking rabbit in headlights. And he's like, here are the policies that we're going to do, and it's going to be hard. And I'm like, I can't get a grip on this person. I can't.
So a friend of mine was saying today, is it because he's being badly advised? And you think, no, it's not. I met Keir long before he was, leader of the party, and he's just like that. He is that guy.
But he's better at conversational stuff. So do it. Do some Why does he do podcasts with Maria and Marina? Sorry, and Gemma, or go on Rory and Dickhead show.
But also get some voices on your front bench that actually can communicate in the way that you want them to.
Well, I have a question.
Let them run free. You need a Prescott out there.
Do we need to mature as a voting block and not have the sizzle on the steak? Sometimes you don't get steak. Sometimes you get bologna. No. Sometimes you just have a boring ass ham sandwich, and it's not fancy, and it's not.
That's Joe Biden, mate. And people.
Joe Biden is an old racist, and I hope he dies soon. Like fuck him forever and ever. Fuck that guy. I just watched this.
But this is the point.
I'll send you the link of the Super Predator video.
I don't need politicians to be razzle dazzle, and I don't want them to be demagogues.
But you're not the everyone. But you're not the everyman. The everyman wants the sizzle.
Yeah. No, they don't. This is the thing, Maggie. We see time and time again on YouTube. If you talk to the YouTube people who own the fucking platform, whatever, run it. They will say that the stuff that does really well is the stuff that's conversational, that feels like the presenter is just having a conversation with the people watching, and they're involved in the conversation, and it's like going down the pub with your mates, and that's what works. We've seen it time and time again, and the way that the politicians. These fuckers who are in charge at the moment, Mikey, are the people it's like they're on the 1950s Chummy Warner show, and it's like, hello, Mr. Politician, would you like to say some words to the folks at home? And they're like, oh, yes, I would actually. I'd like to. And it's like there's that disconnect between the audience, the people watching the stuff, and them saying it. There's no camaraderie, there's no warmth, there's no charm. And I think this is where politicians who are coming up, like AOC, do really, really well, because she does Twitch streams, she does TikTok videos where she's just lying on a couch.
She goes live. She goes live on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So with that,
she did that great poll, didn't she, recently, where it was, look, I know some of you voted for me and Trump on the same ballot. Tell me why. And
I'm not going to roast you. I'm not going to put your shit out in public. Like and
most of the answers. Most of the answers were because you're both against the establishment. And I think we discount that with Trump all the time, basically. He, for whatever reason, he comes across that way to the average voter. That they come across as he's not a politician, even though he was president. He's still not a politician. Farage has got away with for 24 years as a professional politician of saying he's not a politician. Basically,
that's a liar
his political career saying that. Yeah, and Trump's the same. Trump's always been a politician, really. He's always been playing that political game. He used to
he's-
play the Musk game without his money.
You're using a word that I disagree with. I don't think he's always been a politician. He's always been a salesman. And politicians they can be salesmen, right? They need to sell themselves, need to sell their ideas and what they want the direction that they want the country to go in. But he's never been like a leader. He's never been like because a politician will organize and set up and then sell that organization to someone else. He just, what am I supposed to say? Okay, I'll say it. Like he went up there on stage and talked about how much he loved Heritage Foundation for writing Project 2025 for him. Dumbass wasn't supposed to say that out loud, but it ended up on the teleprompter and he said it. But it didn't matter because all of his people said, "Oh, the left made that up anyway. That's not even their thing." Yeah. They never even that's a leftist website.
But you're right about that. But you'll probably hate me for this, but I was listening to Political Currency.
I hate you.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
With Ed Balls and George Osborne's podcast.
Gideon.
I actually quite like. Yeah, Gideon.
Two privately educated people, by the way.
And they managed to get this really interesting exclusive interview with David Cameron. Don't know how Gideon
privately educated
that interview. But anyway, the point is that what he was talking about was the partnership between him and Gideon, and comparing it to the Blair Brown partnership as well. And I think one of the problems that Labour's got is that Keir and Rachel are pretty much identikit politicians. They're almost exactly the same. And what you need is a salesman or a salesperson and a doer behind you, basically. And that's what Blair and Brown were.
That's not what we need.
Okay, guys.
I'm not saying it's what we need. What I'm saying is it's what kind of works in a
what
system
where a lot
of people
what we
don't
need.
care. Well, that's very true. But if you want to get elected and then successfully get re-elected, it seems like you need to do something like that because politics is so superficial.
Sorry, Scott wants to speak.
Yes, long distance boyfriend.
I gotta go. It's kind of 12 o'clock. I gotta get up in the morning.
Okay. Scott, thank you so much, mate. You take care. Sweet dreams.
Bye, Scott.
Good one. Good night. Oh,
Nighty night.
Scott.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry New Year.
New Year. Oh, yeah. Svac says, that's why I was talking about during Agenda when I was talking about Taj is not that comparable with all the politicians and general public don't trust politicians. Yeah, general public don't trust politicians because of the uncanny valley. And when people aren't... I think this was best summed up when JD Vance walked into a fucking donut shop and tried to have a normal conversation with a normal person.
Whatever works.
You know his question? You know what his questions were for every single employee? How long you been working here?
How long you done this? Yeah.
Like no one fucking says that when they go to order food. Like, hey, how long have you been making sandwiches? I don't know, a couple of months. All right, fine, make my food. Like, no one
make more food.
Let me see how long you've been here.
Can I let you into a little secret? I get free stuff all the time. I complained about rich people getting free stuff, right? And because I think it's disgraceful that a multi-millionaire on their way to the Oscars gets given a $28,000 Gucci goodie bag full of diamonds when they're already rich. They don't need that, and they get free clothes and they get free holidays and stuff like that. But I get little things all the time, like a free cup of coffee or like a free bagel or a free, and it's I don't ask for it. It's just because I'm when I talk to people who are serving me. I have a conversation with them. I have a laugh with them. It's, we have jokes. And I know people put on this channel and go, yeah, but you're not funny, Graham. But like that, they have to. I know what it's like.
That's truthful and hurtful.
I know what it's like working in a bar, right? And it can make your day when someone's nice to you. They don't have to give you a fucking tip. They don't have to give you money. But just having that conversation with you and making you feel like you're doing a good job and it's worth it. Whereas a lot of people just come in, especially in the UK, and they'll just be like, coffee, latte. And that's it. That's the only words that they'll speak to the person that they want.
That's because y'all ain't got no seasoning on y'all.
Y'all mean. I just genuinely think that it pays to have that kind of patter, that kind of communication with people. And it's something that I think a lot of these uncanny valley politicians, especially in this country, completely lack. They don't have that level of warmth.
And what career was AOC in before she ran for office?
She worked in servicing, doesn't she? Yeah.
She was tending bar and serving. So, yep.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
That's why that's why people like her. Even though there was an establishment Democrat there for decades or whatever, She just came in there and upset him
Yeah.
because people like normal. So like I hear what you're saying, Mike, and I hear what you're saying, Graham, but I think all of that pageantry of politics, I think it's expired. It doesn't work anymore because the pageantry versus psychopaths loses.
I agree. I
So
agree. I don't think
the
we're
pageantry
speaking at cross
might be
purposes
gone.
here, Mikey. I agree. I'm saying that what I want from my politicians and what I think would work in this country against populism, against the demagogues, is having those conversations and opening yourself up to just, making people feel like they can just have a chat with you.
This is why I said this is why I said we're in disagreement, because I think the populist movement is coming, and whether you rein it in and ride that wave or you get crushed by the fascist populism that takes its place. So the people want populism. Perfect. What do they want? They want freer. They want their stuff to be less taxed. They want more money at the end of the day, and they want the billionaires to pay their fair share. Just do that shit. Don't worry about everything else. Just go after the billionaires for one term and see what happens.
But Mikey, you've got to win. And this is something that, I think the left always...
There's TikTok and Instagram now. So now maybe in this next, what is it going to be, 18-month presidential cycle in 3 years from now, we're not going to have to worry about donors and APAC and all these other fossil fuel industries and all that stuff, because these people won't have to raise money for advertising. They can just go live on Instagram. I don't understand why all of these politicians don't have fucking YouTube channels. Get a TikTok, get a YouTube, talk to the voters.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying as well, Mikey.
It's free to set it up.
Yes.
Do it.
It's free to communicate with every single voter in the country through their pocket phone.
Wait. It's not free. It only costs a small fee if you go through us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 5%.
I took it back. It's not free.
We'll set it all up for you. We'll set it all up.
Go to www.politicians.com.
Dark 4x4 has just dropped a super chat in. Thank you very much, Dark 4x4. People give you free things, really?
Yeah, £2. They give you £2.
Thank you. I'm Wayne is saying what Graham is not telling you that he's a scouser and he's not getting free stuff. He's just robbing the shop.
I was about to say, this is 5-finger
That's
discount.
Racist, Wayne. That's racist.
How dare you?
Racism. Yeah,
that's Wayne for you.
You come from Scousers, mate. You're a class traitor. You are.
Look, I'm having a hair problem, guys.
No, I think it's good.
It's time to go.
It's giving.
Are you going to shave it all off?
Hey, I'm waiting for the moment it starts to fall out, but it doesn't look like it's going to, so that's good.
Have you got? Well, could you shave it off in such a way that you can make a wig out of it and just put it back on and it'll look exactly the same?
When I first, just to come back to the downer conversation of cancer, when I first got leukemia, I had a friend and she had absolutely beautiful hair, and it was, I don't know, like 2 meters long. She'd never had it cut.
Oh, wow.
All right. Hair came down to her ankles, and she saw a post on Facebook that I'd got leukemia, and she found a charity and got 1 meter of her hair cut off and donated it to this charity to make wigs.
Oh wow!
And then I had to say to her, I didn't actually lose my hair, Dina. Sorry about that, but thanks for the hair. That's really nice.
But have you? Did you get the wig? Can you have like a?
No,
nice
to be fair, she gave it to a charity. I did on Monday when I went for my pre-meeting with the Macmillan nurses. They did show me the wig cupboard that I'm able to help myself to. So
the wig cupboard. They have a cupboard full of wigs.
There is a cupboard full of wigs.
I could do with that. I could do with that for my male pattern baldness.
It's easy. Just get cancer and you get a free wig.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, that sounds easy enough. I'll start smoking. Is that a good way of getting cancer? How do we get cancer?
I wish. I gave up smoking 6 months ago and then got a cancer that's completely unrelated to smoking. I gave up drinking 2 years ago and got a cancer that's completely unrelated to drinking.
Oh, so you heard it here first, people. Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke and drink. It's fine.
No, don't tell people to smoke and drink.
It's just every
you will live forever.
You
cancer doctor I've ever had has missed the opportunity to tell me to stop. So
you'll live 1,000 years.
You'll live forever.
You'll be like the elves. And then you can go to the undying lands in the west.
Yes.
With a fag.
Yeah.
By ships.
Packet of Marlboro and a bottle of whiskey.
So, Graham, on your voyage to all those different countries, did you ever visit the Undying Lands to see the elves? Because I know they
Well,
only
I
go by ship.
tried to, but then basically the king of the gods basically bent the earth, because when I started it was flat, and then he bent the earth and put Valinor in the sky, so I couldn't actually get to it.
Is it
If I tried, I'd just keep going around the world.
Iluvatar is like that. You know what I mean?
I know.
That's
He's
a
prickly little
Silmarillion
bitch.
joke. That's
What
a
can I say?
Silmarillion joke. You guys should
Yeah, it
really step up your Tolkien knowledge, because Rings of Power is back, baby. And I had to read an entire novel just to figure out who the hell are these characters, because I'm tired of guessing the wrong thing.
I'm tremendously disappointed with Rings of Power.
Oh, just have fun with it, man.
I think
Just
it
have
looks
fun.
beautiful,
Yeah.
but it reminds me of going to a modern art gallery, which is like, I could do that.
I love
and
that.
I would have done it better.
Modern art. I love modern art. Well,
it's just an idea. It's just an idea, modern art. It's just like a clever idea.
If you want to dress up some friends and go out into the woods, look out for foxes.
Yeah.
shoot it. But I think they did. I mean, and also
I'd like to do I'd like to do the Silmarillion. I'd love to make a show about the Silmarillion, and I'd make it an anthology show like Black Mirror, Twilight Zone. Where each week it's a different story about a different group of people, so you don't have that problem they have in
the
Rings
7
of Power,
timelines.
where they've got all these all these different timelines going on, and dude. Actually in the books are like thousands of years apart. All these events that happen, and they're trying to condense them down to 6 months. It just doesn't really work.
But Tolkien's not really made for film. I think he is an author. His stuff was never meant to be made into, because it's so dense.
It's very true.
Like Dune was like one of the first VHSs to be on 2 tapes, because it's just so dense and there's so much to say.
It's genuinely why Dickens and Jane Austen and Sherlock Holmes have all been over and over made, because they were literally written episodically and sold episodically.
Yeah.
So they're perfect for television.
Sherlock Holmes.
That's why British TV literally is better.
42 short stories or whatever it was in the end.
British TV is better because you guys are better at episodic writing than us.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. There's some really good American shows. Come on.
I think we do have a history of it, though, because it's the thing that fascinates me about the way books used to be sold, was that the author would write the first couple of pages, stick them in the window of a publisher in Soho. This is literally how it was done.
That's funny.
People would come up and say, I really like that story. And they'd go in and subscribe. And then the author would finish the story and the publisher would print them.
That's brilliant.
Based on pre-orders. It's literally crowdfunding and what we do now. And the reason they're written episodically is all those authors wanted a living rather than just one book. So they wrote short stories effectively and published all those short stories.
Yeah.
Makes perfect TV.
But I mean,
that's out of here.
I would love to have the opportunity to have a crack at Tolkien, to turn it into a TV show. And I think that the Silmarillion works perfectly for a TV show, because it could never be a film. It's a bunch of short stories.
This is what I was going to say before. Also, the Rings of Power producers, writers, all this stuff, they don't have 100% access to everything in the Silmarillion.
Yes. But Christopher Tolkien's dead now, so they might be able to get more stuff.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I mean, too bad the first fucking season's already done. Like
yeah, but that's the second. That's the second age. Rings of Power is the second age. I'm talking about doing the stories of the first age.
Oh, well, it's got the second age in it too.
It does. But I mean,
towards the end of it, there.
Yeah, but that's they're concentrating on the appendices of Lord of the Rings rather than what's written in the series.
I think if the right company, like a Pixar level company,
yes,
and like Guillermo del Toro, if they got together to make the Silmarillion, it would be the most beautiful, it would be like Fantasia. Yeah. Because I mean, like the first paragraph of the Silmarillion is like the first, like, I don't know, 20 pages is like it is the best creation story I've ever heard.
That is the first paragraph of the Silmarillion.
Yeah. It is just a really good creation story. It's a better creation story than the Bible. A much better one.
Yeah.
It just is.
And with the music and the orbs, and then like going down and people visiting it, and I think it would be great. people don't like art anymore. They don't like the hard questions. They want everything to be brain efficient. They want to save as much brain gasoline as they can. They want people to think for them. They want them to talk for them. They want their artists to have robots sing to them so they can listen to it. Like everything's lazy. And like I know I'm the old dude yelling at the clouds about how hard it used to be back in the day. I had it pretty easy growing up. This shit is a cakewalk out here now. There is no mental connection to art and like the experience of like taking in a film for the first time or going to an art gallery and being awestruck by something. People don't do it anymore. They just fucking play around on fucking Instagram on their phones all the time. It's like, dude, you forgot about the old people shit that is actually really good people